A rainy, cloudy day in Yarmouth, Massachusetts, but it looks like we're finally going to get to play some baseball. Day 2 of the 2018 Cape Cod Baseball League Summer, and it comes your way from Red Wilson Field. Hello and welcome up to the broadcast booth alongside TJ Mathewson. I'm Dana Gray as we get you set for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox playing host to the Chatham Anglers, the first taste of the Eastern Division for YD, but an exciting matchup yesterday with a Western foe, a 10-9 victory over the Bourne Braves, TJ, and it was some late-game heroics for the Red Sox.
Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest game in the world. We saw 5 combined errors between the two teams. Probably should have been a little more, but Matt Dyer sneaking the ball right down the third base line, gets the lucky bounce off the third base bag, rolls into left field, and the YD Red Sox take their opening game of the 2018 season, and hopefully for Scott Pickler's club, a bit of a cleaner game for themselves here today, despite the poor conditions we have out. It's about 60 degrees out. There's some fog. There's some rain. So we're going to see how the guys adjust to it. It was a picturesque opening day yesterday, about 65, 70 degrees, clear skies, plenty of sun. So a little bit of a change of atmosphere, but hopefully for Scott Pickler's ball club, the same result.
Yeah, and they had to fight some resiliency last night as well. They led for pretty much every single moment of that ball game up until the 9th, until the lead was blown. Spencer Brickhouse with a 2-run homer in the top of the 9th. That gave the Braves their first lead of the afternoon. But as you mentioned, TJ, the Red Sox battling back with a full team effort. A lot of guys getting the bats going early on, and we were talking about it before the game yesterday, sometimes especially with the transition towards the wood bat. It may take some guys, even the best talent in the nation, a little bit of time to get their feet wet here on the Cape using the wood bats, but it didn't really seem like that, at least for the YD lineup yesterday.
No, 5 different Red Sox with multi-hit games, 4 different guys with 3+ hits, and then we saw Zach Ashford, junior outfielder from Fresno State yesterday, debut as a Red Sox and go 4 for 5, so atop the YD lineup. He's atop there today, so we're going to see if they can continue that success from yesterday, looking comfortable with the wood bat. There's going to be facing some good arms from the Chatham Anglers here today, so we're going to see if they can bring that success over into Game 2.
Well, you mentioned the arms for the Anglers. It will be Kyle Hurt going for the visiting Chatham A's with Brant Herter going for the Red Sox. That should be fun. Hurt versus Herter for at least a little bit while. But the Anglers, they come in after suffering a tough loss last night, a 12-4 defeat, a drubbing at the hands of the Wareham Gatemen, but a game that was tight for a long ways away. But then once it got to the 9th at Veterans Field, the Gatemen just stormed away with it.
Yeah, so 9th inning, game's 5-4 in favor of the Gatemen, and then they just blow it open. 7 runs in the 9th inning. Cal's Andrew Vaughn, who plays for Wareham and will be playing for Team USA in a week, couple of days, grand slam for the Gatemen. So, and that blew it open. Made the game look a little less close than it actually was. Chatham, it was a close game for a majority of it, and they're going to look to bounce back here today, get some more consistent pitching, and kind of get that lineup going, which has some names in it.
It sure does, and we'll get to meet that lineup in just a little bit. Just a bit of a delay for first pitch here at Red Wilson, possibly, as it's been all hands on deck the last couple of hours to make sure that the field at Red Wilson is good to go for these ball players. A couple of games around the Cape Cod Baseball League still up in the air whether or not they're going to be played today. And, of course, we're very happy that we're going to get some baseball in this afternoon. All we need is 5 innings. So it could even be 4.5 if it comes via a Red Sox win. But, you know, TJ, we talk about how strenuous this season can be this summer as it gruels on. You only have so many off days. You don't want to lose one of those right off the bat with a rainout.
Yeah, especially on the, right after the first game of the season. You're pretty well rested. For a lot of these guys who aren't playing in playoff baseball, they've had about 3 weeks off to just work out and recalibrate before they come up here for the Cape League season. And you're right, just to lose one of those off days later on in the season to a rainout early in the season. And for us, we're looking at the forecast today. The rain was going to let up around first pitch, so that meant, we could probably get, 5 innings at least, and if there was a delay, we'd probably have a shorter game than usual, but it looks like the game might, be delayed by 10 minutes, but we could get a full 9 innings today if the weather holds.
It sure looks like it. We've been monitoring the radar all afternoon to make sure that the rain is going to hold off for a little bit, and the crew's done a great job to get this field in tip-top shape for first pitch. Take a quick look around the Cape Cod Baseball League from last night. Some finals to report. The Mariners go into Eldridge Park on the road on opening night. They come away with a 3-2 victory. They sit atop the Eastern Division standings along with YD in first place. Each of those with 2 points. But, hey, it is first place. Over in the West, Falmouth took care of Hyannis, a 10-4 victory for the Commodores over the Harbor Hawks. And then elsewhere, Cotuit, a 10-0 drubbing over Brewster at Lowell Park. Some impressive stuff from that Cotuit offense. And we'll have to see if the Red Sox can match that 10th spot that they put up last night against the Braves here in Game 2 against the Chatham Anglers. One of 6 meetings that we will see between these two teams. That's how the Cape League summer works. You play the 4 other teams in your division 6 times, 3 on the road, 3 at home, and then out west 4 times for the meetings with those 5 teams, 2 at home, 2 and away, and usually one of those nice little double headers to reduce the traveling as well. But a first look at the Anglers here at TJ, and also some changing at the headship as well.
So Chatham lineup, starting with second baseman Austin Wilhite, batting second. Their right fielder Spencer Torkelson, the National Freshman Hitter of the Year from Arizona State. He will be batting second. Batting third, the left fielder Colin Simpson. Batting fourth, the first baseman Tristan English. Batting fifth, the catcher Jake Taylor. Batting sixth, the designated hitter Kyle McCann. Batting seventh, the shortstop Gregory Jones. Batting eighth, the third baseman Ben Ramirez. And rounding out the 9 will be the center fielder Jake Snyder. On the mound for the Anglers will be Kyle Hurt. We were told yesterday that it would be Jeff Belge from St. John's, but switch between overnight, and it will now be from USC Kyle Hurt this season with the Trojans. He was pretty good, came in as a very high recruit, 26 overall player in the country, and the number 6 right-handed pitcher in the country this season.
And we'll pause just for a couple moments as we get the national anthem ahead of first pitch here at Red Wilson Field. First meeting of the summer between the Red Sox and the Anglers coming your way in just a few moments. Margaret Dixon performing the national anthem here just moments away from first pitch between the Red Sox and the Anglers, the first of 6 meetings to come in the 2018 summer. So we already met the Chatham lineup. Let's take a look at who they will be facing. It's Brant Herter, the left-handed hurler, a freshman out of Georgia Tech. He'll go today for the Red Sox, a big boy standing at 6'6", 240, 6.04 ERA through 11 starts back at Georgia Tech this past season with a 5-4 win-loss record, pitching just over 50 innings. So looks like he's still got a good amount of his arm ready to go here in the summer.
We did already see him once in the scrimmage kind of, remember, as I mentioned yesterday, kind of hard to judge these guys during the scrimmages, maybe not trying their hardest, not facing the best of competition, but he was throwing the ball hard, and we're going to see, he is a big boy, as you mentioned, 6'6", 240, so we're going to see that on the mound. Problem he had at Georgia Tech, he wasn't very great at preventing hits, a 288 batting average allowed 62 hits in those 53 and 2/3 innings. Decent strikeout to walk ratio at 56 to 23. We're going to see if he can keep that up. Of course, not the best conditions in the world for a pitcher, gripping the ball especially, so we're going to see if he can navigate the Anglers lineup effectively.
And the defense out there behind him, left to right across the outfield, goes Charlie Kincannon, Zach Ashford in center. Quinn Cotton gets the start in right field for the second straight day. And in the infield, Nick Quintana, he'll man the hot corner. Jimmy Govern at short. Taylor Young gets his first start of the season. Came in as a pinch runner in the ninth last night. He starts at second. Luke Robinson getting his first action of the season over at first base. And Vito Frischia getting the start for the catching duties behind Brant Herter. They'll be facing the Anglers lineup of Wilhite, Torkelson, Simpson, English, Taylor, McCann, Jones, Ramirez, and Snyder riding out the nine. Playing in front of a new manager for Chatham, Tom Holliday from Miami. His first season manning the A's after John Schiffner's 25-year tenure is over. A fantastic career for him. Of course, the all-time record in wins for Chatham. He's moved on to other things here in the 2018 summer, so we'll see what Tom Holliday can do and see if he can get his first victory in the Cape League.
Yeah, he's going to have to navigate through YD. Of course, Scott Pickler in his 21st season at the helm of YD, so we're going to see veteran versus rookie here in terms of managing these duties here in Game 2.
The umpires this afternoon, Tom Ryberg behind home plate calling the balls and strikes. John Laboni over at first, and Vicente Alexander Medina will be over at third. Temperature right now just about 63 degrees in Yarmouth, Massachusetts, just a couple of minutes away from first pitch, and it looks like we're even get to it right now as Austin Wilhite will stamp into the right-handed batter's box facing the lefty Brant Herter. Game 2 of the Cape Cod Baseball League. The Red Sox victorious yesterday over the Braves, 10-9. Anglers falling, looking for their first win. Herter comes set, fires in a fastball, missing inside, and we're underway at 5:04. Thanks so much for tuning in, spending part of your Wednesday with us, Dana Gray and TJ Mathewson. Happy to be bringing it to you. 1-0 pitch, fastball high at the letters, 2-0 quickly here on the leadoff man, Wilhite, over at second base tonight for the Anglers. Out of Georgia Tech. Just finished up his freshman campaign. Herter comes home with the 2-0. That connects for the first strike of the afternoon. 2 balls and a strike with nobody on and nobody out.
His two are teammates at Georgia Tech, Herter and Austin Wilhite.
Herter working from the windup, fires home, wave and a miss, strike 2 to even the count up at 2-2. Blew that one past Wilhite. At 249 this past season at Georgia Tech. Now facing his teammate. Herter trying to get him out here. The 2-2 cut and a miss. Wilhite goes down by way of the K, and that's how the afternoon begins. A strikeout for Brant Herter.
Well, as I was talking about in the pregame, we saw Herter's fastball a lot in the scrimmage, and to Wilhite, all fastballs, I believe, all 5 of them were fastballs, and swing and a miss for Wilhite. Good start for Herter.
Fog creeping in across Red Wilson Field, but the field looks like it's in good conditions as Torkelson digs in. Lefty on righty matchup. Begins with a ball, says home plate umpire Tom Ryberg. Nobody on. 1 down here in the top of the first. No score between the Sox and the A's. Herter getting the signs from Frischia, comes home and bounces it in. 2-0 to count on the number 2 man for the Anglers. Torkelson out of Arizona State, a place very near and dear to your heart, TJ.
Indeed. National leader in home runs.
2-0 from Herter is spoiled back to the parking lot. 2 balls and a strike.
Spencer will be playing on Team USA in a few days, along with Andrew Vaughn, as I mentioned, from Wareham in the pregame show. But getting a few at-bats here in the Cape League before he heads off there.
Herter from the windup, misses high and away. 3-1 the count here on Torkelson. Mentioned those 25 home runs, also leading Arizona State with 59 runs scored, 53 runs batted in. Controlling that offense. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Curveball dips in and nabs the outside corner. That'll push the count full. Nobody on, one down, no score here in the top of the first. Day 2 of the 2018 Cape Cod Baseball League Summer. Herter trying to fan the second straight man for the Anglers. 3-2 pitch, well outside in the opposing batter's box. And a free pass given up to Torkelson, the first base runner of the afternoon. That brings up Colin Simpson.
One thing I was amazed at while watching Torkelson this spring is his eye. As a freshman, incredible knowledge of the strike zone. Only struck out 6 more times than he walked. 44 strikeouts to 38 walks during the regular season for Arizona State in 55 games.
And another good power hitter in the 3 spot. Simpson at the dish. Swings at the first pitch. Shoots it right back at Herter. He'll file over to first. They double him up. A double play to end the first inning. Just like that, Brent Herter makes good on the walk, and we go to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Red Sox coming up their first licks. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Home half of the first inning at Red Wilson Field. No score between the Red Sox and the A's. Let's meet that YD lineup. Leading things off is Zach Ashford, the Fresno State product. 4 for 5 yesterday. He'll be followed by Jimmy Govern, the guy that scored the game-winning run for YD in the bottom of the ninth. Quinn Cotton backs third. Charlie Kincannon, he'll go fourth. Vito Fresia gets the start at catcher. He'll bat fifth. Cale Emstroff, he'll bat sixth, getting his first action of the summer. Nick Quintana batting seventh over at the hot corner. Luke Robinson bats eighth. And in the 9-hole, Taylor Young getting his first start in a YD uniform. He's over at second base. And the man they have to face for Chatham, it's Kyle Hurt.
So Kyle Hurt, as I mentioned, a very highly touted recruit, number 26 overall in the country via perfect game. Decided to go to school, though, USC. 14 starts this season for the Trojans, 4.76 ERA and 81 1/3 innings pitch. Not a great strikeout to walk. You struck out 64 batters but walked 58, so his control is going to be one big thing to watch today. He threw 7 2/3 innings. His first Pac-12 start, 7 2/3 no-hit innings and a combined no-hit effort for USC.
And his first pitch to Ashford misses high and away. The leadoff man for the Red Sox out in center tonight. Fantastic debut yesterday, going 4 for 5. Next offering connects for a strike. Fastball right about belt high, evens the count up at 1-1. No score at Red Wilson between the Red Sox and the Anglers. YD looking to make it 2 in a row. Hurt deals the next one off speed. Ashford just able to get a nick of it. He falls behind in the count. A ball and 2 strikes. A really, really foggy day in Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Just past the 5 o'clock hour on the East Coast, and no lights here at Red Wilson, so we could be playing with fire down the stretch. Hurts 1-2 pitch, spoiled off towards the left side. Souvenir for a fan. It keeps the count at 1-2. So the Red Sox winning 10-9 yesterday, putting up those 10 runs off of 16 hits. You consider that pretty impressive when they also left 8 men on base. Could have ran away with that ball game at some point. 1-2 pitch is a soft dribbler towards the left side. Ramirez charges, collects, fires across the diamond in time to get Ashford for the first out of the inning.
Well, that's going to be an immediate test on the infield right there. See if it's soggy or not. Good job by Ramirez getting a good grip on that baseball and not throwing it away on that first play of the game.
No easy out for sure as Jimmy Govern will dig in the shortstop today for the Red Sox. From Eastern Illinois, went 3 for 5 yesterday with 3 singles. Also stole 2 bags, was caught once as well. Hurt sets, fires, first pitch swinging is Govern, lofts it into foul territory on the right side, and no play for Torkelson. That one landing far over by the Chatham bullpen. And the count goes to 0-1 on Govern, who was scampering around to score the game-winning one yesterday. Touched home plate after Dyer hit that chopper right off of third base. Give the Red Sox their first victory of the season. 0-1 pitch from Hurt is lined out into center field. Charging is Snyder, and he catches it on the run. Nice snag for Jake Snyder, the center fielder, and there's quickly 2 down here in the bottom of the first.
Well, you see it on that fly ball right there. It is a little foggy here at Red Wilson Field, and if a ball gets up into that fog, it's really hard for the outfielders to see it. Looks like Snyder wasn't really sure where that ball was, had to adjust really late, still able to make the catch. 2 down.
So that'll bring up Quinn Cotton. 2 for 4 yesterday. Grounds the first pitch over to the left side. Ramirez gobbles it up, throws a strike to first, and 1-2-3 go the Red Sox in the initial frame. We'll head to the top of the second on the other side of the break. No score between the Anglers and the Red Sox. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at a cloudy Red Wilson Field, no score after 1 inning of play. The top of the second straight inning of work for Brent Herter, the starter for YD. The left-handed hurler will face 4, 5, 6 for the Anglers, English, Taylor, and McCann. A 1-3 double play to end that first inning after he walked Torkelson. Got Simpson to line right back to him and doubled up at first. Here's English. Lefty-righty matchup begins with a curveball low in the dirt. Herter had that one softly hit back to him in the first. Still not an easy catch, especially with the visibility here today. 1-0 pitch to the four-man is hit hard foul across the backstop. Evens the count up at 1-1. And TJ, that wind gusting out towards left center, very similar to how we saw it yesterday. Doesn't take a whole lot to get out of this ballpark. 3 homers on opening day. 1-1, a gorgeous curveball. 12-6, fools English, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Tristan English, a guy that's listed as a pitcher as well on this Anglers lineup. Could see some work out of the pen at some point. 1-2 pitch. He fouls off, just getting a piece of it. Freesia couldn't hang on to it. Count will stay at 1-2. English, the Georgia Tech product as well. 1-2 pitch. Fastball high and upstairs, right at the eyes. He lays off it and evens the count back up at 2-2. Nobody on, nobody out. No score in the top of the second between the Red Sox and the Ace. Herter comes set. Curveball is nubbed right back to the pitcher. He collects, throws over the first in time to get English. That's the first out of the inning.
Well, I'm seeing from Herter so far, a guy equally confident in throwing both his fastball and his curveball. We've seen that here through the first inning and a third. Some batters just, first batter of the game to Austin Wilhite, all fastballs. And since then, he's mixed in the fastball and the curveball really well.
So 1 down in the second. That'll bring up Jake Taylor. Catching duties today for the Anglers. Went 1 for 4 yesterday in the loss against Wareham. First pitch, a curveball just a little bit outside. Freesia tried to pull it back in. Ryberg says no, 1-0. Taylor, the righty from Oklahoma State. 1-0 pitch, fastball runs inside. Whistles the blue visiting jersey for the Anglers. Count moves to 2-0. Herder goes into the motions. 2-0 pitch, off speed. Taylor swung above it. 2 balls and a strike with 1 out. No one on base here in the top of the second. No score. Here on day 2, Anglers looking to avenge a 12-4 loss last night. 2-1 pitch, fastball right down Main Street. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Taylor, a draft pick of the Braves just a year ago, but elected to go play college ball at Oklahoma State. 2-2 pitch, just fights it off to the backstop. Count will stay the same. More work for the ball boy here on what's a surprisingly warm and humid day. If you were looking at it just through a screen, like you most certainly are, you wouldn't be able to tell. Still a good amount of fans, though, lining the bleachers. 2-2 pitch, fastball paints it on the inside corner. The second strikeout of the afternoon for Herder. He's rolling, and there's 2 down in the second.
Well, you saw that. Paints it right on the inside corner. Not afraid to go inside. You see that with some guys, afraid of hitting the batter in the batter's box, but not Herder right there. Rings up Taylor for out number 2.
So that'll bring up Kyle McCann, the designated hitter tonight for the Anglers. Another Georgia Tech product, lefty-on-lefty matchup against Herder, who misses with the first pitch off speed, low in the dirt. McCann batting .300 this past collegiate season. Tacked on 15 homers as well. 1-0 curveball dips outside, 2-0. McCann, a good debut last night at Veterans Field. 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. Also scored a run in that loss to the Gatemen. 2-0 pitch from Herder. Fastball running very in tight on McCann. He has to duck out. He'll take a walk around home plate. That came pretty close to hitting him right on the chin. The count moves to 3 balls and no strikes. Nobody on. Pitch right down the middle. McCann taking all the way. 3 balls and a strike.
McCann making the All-ACC third team this year. He's a catcher by trade, but moved to first base this season.
3-1 curveball. That nabs the outside corner. So another full count here for Brant Herder. Trying to get out of the second inning scoreless and without allowing a base runner. Payoff pitch from the lefty. Curveball, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Brant Herder. He's on a tear. We go to the home half of the second, still scoreless. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the second inning, Kyle Hurt back out there on the bump for the Anglers. Sent the Sox down 1-2-3 in the first. He'll face 4, 5, and 6 for YD and Concannon, Freesia, and Emshoff. Starting off with Charlie Concannon, left fielder tonight for the Red Sox. No score between the Red Sox and the A's in day 2 of the season. Hurt from the windup, right down the middle for a strike against Concannon, and also got the start yesterday for the Red Sox. Junior from St. Joseph's went 0 for 5, though, at the plate yesterday. He struggled mightily. 0-1 pitch, fastball on the outside corner, and it's quickly 0-2 on the four-man for the Sox. Kincannon, a strikeout victim twice yesterday in that debut. Has to protect here. 0-2 pitch. He fights it off. So 0-2 the count remains with nobody on and nobody out in the bottom of the second. Still no hits today. Hurt working with Taylor, the catcher. Gets the signs and fires home the next pitch. This one a soft looper out to shallow right center field, and it dunks in for the first base hit of the afternoon. It goes to Charlie Kincannon. After he goes 0 for 5 yesterday, makes good on it so far, and he's on first.
Yeah, and that's his first hit of this 2018 summer. Getting the second inning off to a good start for YD. See if Vito Fresia can keep the inning rolling.
Played and started in 45 games for Hofstra this past season. Led the team with a .353 clip. Lumbers into the righty's batter's box. Big boy, 6'3", 230. Facing Kyle Hurt. Fires in a fastball outside. Fresia gets ahead in the count. Now with Kincannon off of first. Is being held on by English. Hurt getting the signs from Taylor. A glance over his shoulder at first. Now comes home with a fastball. Misses inside. 2-0 the count on Fresia. Some room to work with here for the hitter.
And Fresia's brought his batting average almost up 50 points every season of his collegiate career. 253 as a freshman, 305 as a sophomore, and 353 as a junior this past spring.
2-0 from Hurt. Gets away from Taylor, scampering to the backstop, and that's an easy base to take for Charlie Kincannon. Just like that, YD with a runner in scoring position here in the second. Fresia getting his first at-bat in the Cape Cod Baseball League. It's got to be a moment that a lot of these players have been thinking about, dreaming about for quite some time. You don't really know how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. You just hope that it's due. And right now, it's a 3-0 count for Vito Fresia now with a man in scoring position. See if Scott Pickler's given him the green light. A couple of wild pitches for Kyle Hurt back-to-back. Here's the 3-0. That's down the middle for a strike. No go for Fresia, and it's 3 balls and a strike here with nobody down. Kincannon a lead off of second. Shortstop Gregory Jones playing just behind him. Shortstop Will Height well off of second in the hole. Glance back by Hurt towards the middle bag. Now comes home with a 3-1, and Fresia bunts it right back at Hurt. No play but to go to first. Sacrifice job well done by the catcher. That moves Kincannon over to third. Now YD can score when recording it out.
Well, Hurt didn't look that comfortable fielding that baseball right there. I thought he had a chance to throw it away down the first base line, but ends up sack bunt. No matter what, gets the job done, and Kincannon now standing on third. YD looking to put the first run of the game on the board here in the bottom of the second.
And the man tapped with doing so will be Cale Emschoff, sophomore from Arkansas Little Rock. Digs in for his first plate appearance. The infield playing in right on the lip of the grass. First pitch from Hurt, fastball on the outside. Called a strike, 0-1. So Kincannon now 90 feet away from breaking this scoreless tie. Couple of steps off of third base with 1 out. And all the Anglers playing very close. Hurt sets right at the chest, comes home with the 0-1. Fought off foul towards the right side, well out of play. 0-2 here for Hurt, really going after Emschoff. Designated hitter today for the Red Sox. Batted .273 this past collegiate season. Just has got to get something into the outfield to get the Red Sox a run. 0-2 pitch is a bouncer off of home plate, and that will break the scoreless tie. Kincannon jots in and touches home plate, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second.
Well, Hurt just bouncing one too many balls. Taylor behind the plate just couldn't keep that one in front of him. Looks like really struggling with that, trying to judge those bounces. When it's bouncing in front of the plate. And to the benefit of the Red Sox, they're on the board.
Probably trying to waste a pitch. He had an 0-2 count on Emschoff, but he missed well wide. Now he spanks the next one foul down the left field line. Count stays at 1-2. So the Sox score first for the second straight time. 1-0 lead over the Anglers, who fell behind the Gatemen early on last night at Veterans Field. They'll clawed their way back. 1-2 pitch, off speed, trails outside. Evens the count up at 2-2 as Emshoff has battled his way back. Robstown, Texas native, a long trip up here to Yarmouth, Mass. 2-2 pitch off speed, spoiled by the designated hitter. Nice job to just tag it and stay foul. Hurt now working from the windup with no one on base. Comes home with a 2-2 high cheese, swing and a miss. Down goes Emshoff, the first strikeout of the afternoon for Kyle Hurt, and there's 2 down. That'll bring up Nick Quintana, one of the few returners to this Red Sox lineup. 0 for 5 yesterday with a couple of strikeouts, though did score an important run. One of the 10 YD scored yesterday. First pitch to the Arizona product right down the middle. 0-1. So Quintana in the lineup at 5th yesterday. Moves down a couple of spots today to the 7th marker. Batting here with 2 outs in the second and 1-0 lead for the Red Sox. 0-1 pitch. Fastball a little bit below the knees. Taylor held it for a couple of moments. Doesn't get the call he wants from the home plate umpire Tom Ryberg, and it's 1-1.
Not that much of a surprise seeing Quintana back on this Red Sox roster. Was here on YD last year, as you mentioned, but really struggled with the average, batting .200. Did tie for the team lead in home runs with 6, but that's about all. 50 strikeouts led the team.
A couple of important homers as well. A guy that you might not have seen it from the stat sheet, but when the Red Sox needed a big hit, especially via the long ball, he's the guy that can do it. When he gets a hold of one, it's going a mile. 2-1 pitch to him, off speed, and he fights it off. A nubber towards the Anglers' dugout, and the count stays now to 2-2. With 2 outs, no one on base. 1-0 lead for the Red Sox. Luke Robinson on deck. Taylor Yank to follow if necessary here in the bottom of the second. Hurt from the windup. 2-2 pitch to Quintana, same result. Good at-bat put in here by Nick, which is something you like to see, especially for a guy that may have struggled yesterday, making that pitcher work for the out. Definitely not going to go down easy as he digs right back into the righty's batter's box. Another 2-2 pitch upcoming. Here it is. Fastball taken high at the letters, and Quintana has worked the count full.
Well, even if we saw Quintana struggle a little bit yesterday, it's really going to be hard to see him struggle for a second straight summer. Because this season at Arizona, he was nothing short of phenomenal. .313 batting average, 14 home runs, 17 doubles.
Payoff pitch, fastball low in the dirt. Quintana has worked a 2-out walk. A great at-bat after he fell behind in the count twice. Worked it full, lays off the fastball in the dirt, and walks over to first base. The inning continues, and Luke Robinson digs in. So the Red Sox scoring here in the second inning. Charlie Concannon singling to lead off the frame, and then moved around the base paths via a couple of passed balls, also a sacrifice bunt laid down by Freesia. Not done yet, though, for Kyle Hurt. Has to face the lefty Robinson with Quintana off of first. Initial pitch to him, a strike right at the knees. Robinson, a sophomore from Western Carolina, batting a .281 clip, getting his first plate appearance here on the Cape with the Red Sox. 0-1 pitch, hard hit right back up the middle. It finds the hole for a base hit. Quintana will hold it second, getting the signal from Scott Pickler, the third base coach for the Red Sox, making sure he stayed there. But now a runner in scoring position with 2 down. A little 2-out magic here for the Sox, possibly.
Good approach there from Robinson. Anglers have been leaving the middle of the infield wide open. Just takes the pitch from Kyle Hurt right back up the middle. We saw it in the scrimmage on Saturday. In the later innings, had an opposite field 3-run home run. A really impressive shot there. And then we see him being able to use more of the whole field there on that singles. Red Sox looking for some 2-out magic here.
2 on. They'll bring up the 9-man. Taylor Young, he gets his first plate appearance of the season. Was entered into the game as a pinch runner in the bottom of the 9th. Last night scored the tying run First pitch to him, he takes all the way for a strike right down the middle. That came after Matthew Toke walked to begin the ninth inning with the Sox trailing by 1. Pickler goes in, puts in the speedy Young. He gets around to tie the game up before the Red Sox eventually walked it off. 0-1 pitch, fastball away. Nice job from the backstop. Taylor completely get out of his crouch, move into the opposite batter's box. That could have been trouble once again. So the count 1-1 on Taylor Young, Louisiana Tech product. Over a 300 clip this past season. 1-1 pitch, off speed, and it stays high. Good eye from Young to lay off of it. The top of the order on deck in Zach Ashford. Sox with a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the second. 2 down, 2 on. Looking for more run support for Brent Herter here, though, against Kyle Hurt. Righty deals the 2-1. Slow roller to the shortstop, Jones. He'll collect and tap on second to get the easy out and retire the side, but not before the Red Sox break the ice here in the second inning. We go to the third. YD leading it 1-0 over the Anglers. Listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Through 2 innings full at Red Wilson Field, the Red Sox scoring first in the bottom of the second inning. They take a 1-0 lead here into the third over the Anglers. Brent Herter back out for his third inning of work. He's faced the minimum, even though he gave up that walk back in the first. A double play that ended the initial frame, so he's only faced 6, and he'll face 7, 8, 9 now, and Jones, Ramirez, and Snyder. First pitch to Gregory Jones, taken high and outside for a ball. So the Red Sox scraping across a run in the second. Concannon scoring after a leadoff single. 1-0 pitch, fought off foul over the backstop. Evens the count up at 1-1. Just 30 pitches it took Herter to get through those first 2. So some efficient pitching here from the lefties so far in the early innings. 1-1 pitch to Jones, tails outside. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody on, nobody out. Herter working with Freesia, the backstop today. 2-1 pitch is lofted out into deep right field. Going back is Cotton, and he can just watch that one sail over the fence. A solo shot for Gregory Jones ties this one up. It's 1-1 in the third. So a 1-1 score now in the third. And Ben Ramirez will climb in. The Anglers wasting no time in evening this ball game right back up. Ramirez, the lefty, over at third base tonight for the Anglers. First pitch he sees a curveball. That'll connect on the inside. Portion for a strike. 0-1. No outs, no one on base. The solo shot from Gregory Jones has tied us up. 0-1 pitch. Missing a tad high. Evens the count back up at 1-1. So Herter gets tagged. Let's see how he responds against Ramirez here. The leg kick and fires home. This one tagged into the outfield for a base hit. collected by Concannon in left, fires back in. The back-to-back hits for the Anglers, a single for Ramirez, and there's one aboard.
Well, we saw Herter cruise right through those first two frames. Looked like possibly, keep going here through the third, but a home run and now a single to lead off this third frame. See if Herter can settle down and maybe get a double play ball right here.
He'll face the number 9 man, Jake Snyder, Louisville product, lefty-on-lefty matchup. Snyder showing bunt, pulls it back just in time. That's call the ball 1-0 with Ramirez off of first. Only attempted 2 stolen bases at USC this past spring, though he was successful at both tries. 1-0 pitch, bunted high behind home plate. Freesia appears to have a line on it. He dives to the ground, and he's got it. Wonderful defensive play from Vito Freesia behind home plate to retire Snyder, and there's one away.
Well, if you can't get a double play ball, that's one of the more gifted outs you can possibly get. Popping a bunt straight up. I don't think Freesia saw it right away, overran it a little bit, but able to recover a spectacular diving stab, diving back towards home plate. And what a wild first out of this third inning.
Top of the order, Will Height swinging at the first pitch. Skies it foul towards the right side. Yeah, pretty foggy, and the skies are completely gray. So when you try and track any sort of fly ball, especially one that's not going to hang up there for too long, it's no easy task. And Freesia, fantastic defensive gem to get the first out of the inning. 0-1 pitch, has to wait as Herter tosses over to check on Ramirez. Got a good 2-step lead. Luke Robinson, the first baseman, holding him on. 1-1 ball game in the top of the third between the Red Sox and the A's. 0-1 pitch is hit high into the air. Ranging to his left is Ashford, and it'll be Cotton that will make the grab in right to collect the second out of the inning. Cotton looked like he had a beat on that home run for Jones, but just ran out of real estate. Only 338 down the right field line, and with the wind blowing out, it just carried it straight over the fence. But now there's 2 away. Spencer Torkelson digs in.
Well, that fly ball there will tell you how well the outfielders is seeing the ball. Cotton looked like he had it all the way right there, which means outfielders can see the ball there, are able to pick it up in this light fog.
Right fielder Torkelson walked back in the first inning. Only base runner in the first 2 frames for the Anglers. He's taken all the way on the first offering, a ball outside, 1-0. With 2 down, Ramirez on first. Even ball game here in the third. Both teams with 1 run off of 2 hits so far, day 2 of the season. Herter glances over at first, now comes home with a curveball, misses a good 6 inches off the plate. He's fallen behind in the count 2-0. Very happy that we're getting this one underway at Red Wilson Field. A delayed start time by maybe 3 minutes, if that. A huge tip of the cap to the crew to get this one in tip-top shape for first pitch. And we know that's not the case across the rest of the league. Falmouth and Hyannis both calling their games. 2-0 pitch with a runner going. Freesia's throw down to second, tag applied, not in time. Ramirez swipes the bag and moves into scoring position with 2 down.
Throw a little high there from Freesia. I feel like a throw right on the bag would have got him, but throw, as I mentioned, a little high for the second baseman. Young had to jump for that. It takes longer to get the tag down.
So now Torkelson with a 3-0 count. A chance to bring in the go-ahead run with 2 down. Herter comes home with a curveball and misses low. It gets away from Freesia, and he makes sure to keep an eye on Ramirez. He'll hold it second, now 2 on with 2 outs. And the number 3 man, Colin Simpson, walking out. So it's the second time the afternoon that Herter has walked Torkelson. You can't totally blame him. The way that his bat was at Arizona State this spring, some impressive stuff from the 2 man for the Anglers. Now a lead off of first with 2 down. And Simpson at the dish, the left-handed hitter. Herter steps off, looks back at second. No throw, though. Govern now giving the signs back to his pitcher. We'll see where he ends up in the shortstop hole. Playing pretty close to that middle bag. Now approaching the runner, Ramirez. Herter looking at home, and he'll fire home. A nice curveball. Swing and a miss from Simpson to get ahead in the count 0-1.
Herter's got a lot of movement on that curveball. As you mentioned, The first inning really goes 12-6. And we saw it right there, able to bury it in the right-hander batter's box. Makes it harder for Simpson to get to it, batting left-handed.
Sets the chest, comes home with another off-speed pitch. Hit high into the air in foul territory. Sends a good 10. The younger fans running, and a quickly 0-2 count here for Herter on Simpson. With Torkelson off of first, Ramirez off of second. The Anglers have already put up one here in the third. To respond to the first run for the Red Sox in the second. Brings us even at 1, but the Anglers looking to take the lead. Herter has other thoughts, glances back at second, fires home. Had a pitch to waste, and he did just that with a fastball, so the count moves to 1-2. Simpson, the Oklahoma State product, went 1 for 5 yesterday in the first game against the Gatemen. Big double at Veterans Field. He's the one that hit back into that 1-3 double play to end the first. 1-2 from Herter. We'll have to wait again. Stepping off, paying a lot of attention. TJ to Ramirez there at second, trying to keep him as close to the bag as possible. Maybe give his outfielders a chance if this one does fall into the outfield grass.
Well, the outfielders are playing, or at least Ashford and center playing almost in front of the wall. So that one's fouled straight back. Out in left field, Concannon is playing about halfway and Cotton a little bit deeper in right field, but I'd say to either of the corners a good chance to throw him out at home. I'm not so sure about center.
Well, we just saw Ramirez use the wheels to take second base a couple of at-bats ago. Now 3 steps off of second. Torkelson off of first. 1-2 pitch. Hit softly on the ground to the right. Young collects, fires over to first in time to get Simpson to retire the side. The Anglers tie it up, though, with a solo shot courtesy of Gregory Jones, and we're all knotted up at 1 as we go to the home half of the third. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Brand new ball game in the bottom of the third. 1-1 the score between the Red Sox and the Anglers. YD looking to make it 2 straight wins. The Anglers still looking for their first victory of 2018. Zach Ashford will step to the dish for the second time this afternoon. Facing Kyle Hurt, took him 37 pitches to get through the first 2 innings. Gave up the run back in the second. Now faces the lefty Ashford once again. First pitch taken high at the chin, a fastball. 1-0. Zach Ashford grounding over to third back in the first inning to start this ball game off. 1-0 delivery, slapped foul right by the Red Sox bullpen. Luckily no action quite yet, especially the way Brant Herter's dealing. Count 1-1. Couple of wind gusts still, keeping an eye on that flagpole over the scoreboard in left center. We saw it carry a Gregory Jones fly ball out of here just a few moments ago. 1-1 to Ashford, taken high for a ball, 2-1.
Whatever wind we see here today, I don't think it can match what we saw yesterday. Wind was gusting all over the outfield and helped all 3 of the home runs that were hit yesterday between YD and Bourne.
Nice 2-1 pitch there to nab the inside corner off speed. And a 2-2 count on the leadoff man for the Red Sox. Base is empty with no outs in the bottom of the third. 1-1 the score. Hurt gets the signs, fires home the 2-2. This one lofted over into left field. Simpson on his horse goes past into foul territory, and he's got it to make the grab for the first out of the inning. You're right, TJ. The outfielder's doing a good job so far tracking that ball with gray skies high above in Yarmouth, Mass. Doesn't bother Simpson, though. He gets the first out of the inning. It'll bring up Jimmy Govern.
Fog has lifted a little bit, though, so that does make it easier. Fog right before the game was just on top of the field, but it has cleared since then. 3.5 innings later, or 2.5 innings later, pardon me.
Govern swings at the first pitch and hits it hard foul in towards the bleachers. A few hundred fans here making it out for day 2 at Red Wilson Field. Had to battle the elements early on, but it's clearing up. 0-1 in the dirt, but a swing and a miss from Govern. Quickly falls behind 0-2 on the righty Kyle Hurt. He's thrown some good stuff so far today. Giving up 1 run off of 2 hits to the Red Sox. That's the same score line for the Anglers. 0-2 pitch from the righty, a waste one high at the chin, and Govern lays off of it. He lined out to the center fielder Snyder back in the first inning. A 1-2-3 inning that Kyle Hurt recorded. Working from the windup. Comes home with a 1-2, misses away. That'll even the count up at 2-2 here on Govern. In this second hole for the Red Sox, scored the game-winning run yesterday. Scott Pickler puts him right back in the lineup. And here's the 2-2 pitch. Cut and a miss, strike 3. That was nasty. Took something off it, and Govern was fooled. Just like that, there's 2 outs in the third.
Looks like that was a changeup there from Kyle Hurt after pounding the top of the zone with fastballs. Comes back with a changeup. Bottom falls out of it, and Govern cannot get the bat head to it. 2 down here for the Red Sox.
So 2 strikeouts so far for Kyle Hurt this afternoon. He has to face the 3-man Quinn Cotton. Right-handed hitter. First pitch he sees, takes for a strike right down the middle. Hurt's looking to send this top of the order for the Red Sox. 1-2-3 down in order for the second time in just a few innings. 0-1 to Cotton. He takes it high and inside, lays off it. Cotton, one of those guys, you can just tell he's an athletic kid, especially with the wheels we saw him showcase yesterday, turning what for many would be a routine double into a triple. An RBI one at that yesterday. 1-1 pitch, grounded, just foul. Ramirez makes the play, won't matter. It's a ball and 2 strikes with no one on base and 2 down.
Well, it's not just the athlete. It's incredible bat control he has. Hit .390 this season at GCU. Western Athletic Conference Player of the Year.
And showing why, found his way up to the Cape. 1-2 grounded right back into the mid of Hurt, a little under 10 toss. And the Sox go down 1-2-3 just like they did back in the first. We head to the top of the 4th. Still tied at 1 between the Sox and the Anglers. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the 4th inning at Red Wilson Field, a 1-1 score between the Red Sox and the Anglers in day 2 of the 2018 summer. Dana Gray, TJ Mathewson here at Red Wilson. A gusty afternoon in Yarmouth, Mass. And it seems to be getting better and better by the minute, TJ. The sun getting a little bit brighter out there in the sky. Gray clouds may not have parted, but at least putting a little more sunlight here on the grass at DY Regional High School. As Tristan English digs in to face Brent Herter for the second time this afternoon. English 0 for 1, grounding right back to the pitcher in the second. He ropes the first pitch, foul just by a couple of feet down the left field line. That's just a few feet to the right. That's got extra bases written all over it. Luckily for Herter, though, it stays foul.
Yeah, Herter left that ball up just to get me over fastball to start the inning, and Will Height was ready. Tristan English was ready for it. Just missing an extra base hit down the left field line.
Count even at 1-1 is that one a tad bit low for Herter. Pitch count sitting in just over around 50. He's been efficient so far. 1-1 pitch curveball, just a nick for English. He falls behind in the count 1-2. First baseman, as we mentioned, listed on the roster as a pitcher for the A's. And he pitched a good amount of innings at Georgia Tech this past season. 1-2 pitch, hit hard right back up the middle where she came for a base hit. English a wide turn around first. He'll scamper back, though, and a leadoff base hit for the four-man.
Well, again, Herter leaving the fastball up and English ready for it. Just taking it right back up the wide open middle of the infield. Hit that ball on the screws.
That'll bring up Jake Taylor, freshman from Oklahoma State. And Tristan English, a guy that we said plays a little bit of everything, including pitching. He missed the entire 2017 season getting Tommy John surgery in January. He seems to be in tip-top shape, though, now. Was able to redshirt that year, now playing for the Anglers. First pitch to Taylor, high and outside. So a leadoff man aboard for the Anglers after Gregory Jones led off the third with a solo shot to tie the game up, though Herter worked out of the jam to follow. 1-0 pitch upstairs as well, 2-0. This one, the only game underway on the Cape. Few rainouts were called earlier today. This one underway, though. The 2-0 catch in the outside corner. We talked about it a little bit earlier, TJ. It's really nice to keep your off days if you can for these kids and give them the opportunity to explore the Cape a little bit, maybe hit the beach. So we assume the Red Sox players and Anglers are appreciative that we're underway here. 2-1 pitch hit high over the backstop, evens the count up at 2-2. Maybe a beach day for even yourself. Have you hit it yet?
Maybe I have not.
Still about a week here down on the Cape, right?
I got to do a U and hit the mini golf courses.
Oh, well, yeah, especially over at Pirates Cove, one of the best courses, definitely in Yarmouth, definitely at some point around the Central Cape. 2-2 outside as well. And I got a trivia question here for you, TJ.
Oh, let's have
The
it.
course record at Pirates Cove, just about a mile away from here at DY Regional High School, a 27 was shot on 18 holes, and it's actually held by a former YD Red Sox and by someone who's playing in the MLB right now. I'll give you a second to mull it over.
That would be former MVP and Giants catcher Buster Posey.
You got it right. You nailed that one. I don't have a prize for you, but English takes second and a swing and a miss for Taylor. So a runner into scoring position, but there is one out. Kyle McCann will step in. So the fourth strikeout of the afternoon for Herter, blowing that fastball by Taylor. English does move up into scoring position. The Anglers threatening to take the lead once again. And it's Kyle McCann, one of the 4 strikeout victims for Herter, through 3 1/3. First pitch to McCann, off speed, tails outside, 1-0. English off of second. McCann 0 for 1 with that strikeout. That closed out the second inning. You're darn right, Buster Posey, a 27. That's pretty incredible when you think about it. It's a lot of hole-in-ones, and if not that, it's just taking about 2 strokes. A lot better than I could do. 1-0 pitch, runs inside, but McCann can't check his swing, says home plate umpire Tom Ryberg. Count moves to 1-1, with Herter trying to work out of a leadoff single that he gave up to Tristan English to start this frame, who's since stolen a base on a payoff pitch to Jake Taylor. That gave us the 1 out. Now the 1-1 pitch to the lefty McCann, wave and a miss. Looks silly swinging at that curveball upstairs, and it's 1-2.
Well, Herder started that curveball at McCann's head, it looked like, and then breaks down over the outside corner. Pretty difficult for McCann to know where that ball will be crossing the plate at, leading to a wild swing and miss.
Glance back at second from Herder. Now fires home with a fastball. A little bit too inside. Evens the count back up at 2-2. Govern playing right behind the runner in Tristan English. Just stole that bag as the Anglers are looking to take a lead with one out in the top of the fourth. 1-1 score. Herder comes set at the chest. Lefty comes home with a curveball. Outside, and the count has been pushed full for the second straight time. Anglers still looking to take their first lead of the season. They trailed the entirety of last night's opener at Veterans Field, falling 12-4 to the Gatemen, which was a close game going into the ninth before Wareham broke it open. A grand slam helping in that affair. Payoff pitch from Herder. We'll do it again as it's fouled over towards the dugout for Chatham. Good at-bat put up by Kyle McCann, following a decent at-bat as well for Jake Taylor as the Anglers are trying to get to this Red Sox bullpen. There is some action up there down the left field line. We saw 5 different Red Sox pitchers yesterday hit the bump, and it's Sam Kessler warming, the right-hander, down in foul territory. Herder steps off, looks back at second, still awaiting the payoff pitch to McCann. Designated hitter for the Anglers. Herder working with Vito Freesia, the catcher today for the first time. Comes home with the 3-2 pitch. Paint on the outside corner. He sends McCann down for the second time this afternoon. Back-to-back Ks for Brent Herder, and there's 2 down in the frame.
Oh, what a paint job on the outside corner right there. McCann thought he had first base, made about 10 feet down the first base line before home plate umpire rung him up right there. To the leadoff single, 2 quick strikeouts for Brant Herder. We'll see if he can get out of this.
And look out, because it's Jones, the man that's tied this game up, hit the solo shot back in the third. First pitch he sees, a curveball dunks in for a strike to start the at-bat. That one from Jones just a few moments ago just kept carrying over that right field fence, over the head of Cotton. That started the third inning, and really the first blemish to Herder's resume so far in this game. The 0-1 pitch to the shortstop, bounces in the dirt. Freesia up on it quick. Makes sure to keep English at second, just where he stays. Count at 1-1 with 2 down, runner on second in the top of the fourth. Even at 1 at Red Wilson Field. First of 6 meetings between the Red Sox and the Anglers. Meeting number 2 to come in just a couple of weeks. That at Veterans Field on June 29th. And then we'll be back here at Red Wilson in early July for meeting 3. 1-1 off speed. That right at the knees. Called strike. Now just one more pitch away for Herder. Trying to get Jones and get a little payback after he took him yard. English off of second base, 2 down, and a 1-2 count on Jones. Here's the pitch, a hot shot right back at Herder into the mitt, over to first to retire this side. Brent Herder works out of a leadoff single, and we go to the bottom of the fourth, still tied at 1. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the fourth inning at Red Wilson, 1-1 between the Sox and the Anglers. Meeting number 1 of the season, just game 2. YD already 1-0, the Anglers 0-1. And the heart of the lineup coming up for the second time for the Red Sox, Charlie Concannon facing off against the righty Kyle Hurt. First pitch, swing and a miss. Concannon fishing low in the dirt. He singled back in the second, came around to score the only YD run so far. Advanced on a couple of pass balls and a sacrifice bunt by the man on deck, Vito Fresia. 0-1 pitch, hit hard and through the hole on the right side for a base hit. 2 for 2, Charlie Concannon with a couple of singles, and the Sox have the leadoff man on.
Well, he did the same thing in the second inning, leading off that inning with a single, came around to score on a wild pitch, and he's going to try and come around and score again here, give the Red Sox the lead back.
Vito Fresia climbs in. Hofstra product laid down a very nice sacrifice bunt back in the second. We'll see if Scott Pickler's letting him swing away here. Facing the righty Hurt for the Anglers. First pitch, another foul to the backstop. 0-1 the count on Fresia. Sox now with 3 hits. Same scoreline for the Anglers. 1 run off of 3. No errors after we saw 5 in the game yesterday here at Red Wilson, though 4 of those coming via the Braves. Hurt sets, fires, swing and a miss, strike 2. 0-2 the count on the 5-man for the Red Sox. Concannon still on first after the leadoff single. Fresia has to protect. We'll see what Hurt comes with here. He's got options in the driver's seat. Righty's 0-2 pitch, just a bit outside. Jake Taylor held it for a few moments, hoping for the call from Tom Ryberg. He doesn't get it. That one looked pretty darn good. Count does move to 1-2. We'll see what Hurt, if he goes right back to that pitch. It was a good job from Fresia to lay off it. That was very close. Hurt set to the belt, comes home. Spoiled off foul behind us. Count stays at 1-2. Wind dying down at Red Wilson Field, just across the 6 o'clock hour on the East Coast. Just about an hour of play so far, and we're in the middle of the 4th. 1-2 bounces in low, and the count evens up at 2-2. So Fresia, the catcher from Hofstra, getting his first start today. Second at bat. Still looking for his first technical plate appearance, though, after laying down the sac bunt. 2-2 pitch, wave and a miss, strike 3. Nice one there from Kyle Hurt. Rings him up, the 3rd strikeout of the afternoon for the righty, and there's 1 away.
All swinging strikeouts, too, and that one a nice, looked like either a changeup or a curveball buried in the left-handed batter's box. Nothing Fresia can do about that one.
So Cale Emschoff swaggers up to the plate. 1 out and a runner on first. It's Concannon singling for the 2nd straight time this afternoon. And he's running on the first pitch. Throw down to second. Plenty of time. Concannon caught stealing by a good couple of steps. And just like that, there's 2 away.
Well, it looked like Concannon got a really good jump there at first. But Taylor behind the plate, an absolute hose down to second base. And that throw was right on the bag. Just no effort at all for Will Height to slap the tag down on Concannon for out number 2.
0-1 pitch from Hurt, tails outside, 1-1. So Scott Pickler putting on the signal, obviously trying to get Concannon into scoring position. Maybe not the best wheels, though. And he was caught by a mile. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Now Hurt just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning after giving up the leadoff single. Hurt and Herter both not throwing a ton of pitches through the early going of this ballgame. From the windup now, 1-2, dips low into the dirt, and called strike 3. Emschoff goes down by way of the K, and just like that, the side is retired. Concannon caught stealing, and the Sox go down. We go to the top of the 5th. 1-1 the score. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Brent Herter toes the rubber once again for his 5th inning of work in the top of the 5th. Even scoreline, 1 apiece between the Sox and the Anglers. It'll be 8-9 and 1 due up for visiting Chatham. Ben Ramirez to lead things off. Left-handed hitter has one of the 3 Chatham hits, singling back in the 3rd inning. Also stole a bag, what was left stranded. Herter, the lefty, facing the lefty batter, comes home. First pitch fouled off to the backstop. Only took 71 pitches for the lefty for Whitey to get through those first 4 innings. Some good production that manager Scott Pickler's got to be pretty happy with. And he gets ahead of the leadoff man Ramirez here. 0-1 pitch curveball. He sits on it, but hits it foul down the right side. 0-2 on the 8-man Ramirez. Went 2 for 3 yesterday in the loss against Wareham. Couple of singles. .265 average at USC this past season. Just a freshman. 0-2 pitch, a waste one outside. Ramirez lays off of it. Count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. No one on base and no outs in the top of the 5th at Red Wilson. Herter into the motions, now comes home. High screaming pop-up. Quintana ranging into foul territory. He catches it right on the line for the first out of the inning. So Jake Snyder, the 9-man, to come to the plate. Left-handed hitter, the number 9-man for the Anglers. Comes from another baseball family, as so many of these kids do. Father, a hitting coach for the St. Louis Cardinals. He climbs into the lefty box to face the lefty Herter. With 1 out, no one on base. First pitch was going right for the head of Snyder, a late duck. Seemed like almost he thought about taking that one for a second. I think he realized, though, that was going for the helmet, so wisely moved out of the way. 1 ball to count here. Next one, another foul, evens the count right back up at 1-1.
Well, you think about what that pitch means for Herter. It could be a setup pitch for his curveball. Start the fastball at his head, doesn't move. And then you start the curveball at his head, and it dips right back across the plate.
See what he goes with here in the 1-1 count. 1 out in the 5th. Fastball taken high. Snyder successfully checking his swing. 2-1. Herter, the big lefty, working against the lefty Snyder. Next pitch is golfed out into shallow left center field. Going back is Govern, the shortstop. No play to be made for Concannon either. It dunks in for a base hit. Snyder, the 9-man aboard, and it brings up the top of the order. And Austin Wilhite, 1 on, 1 out.
Well, the way Govern was running, it looked like he had a chance at it, but it just is out of his reach. And just in that sweet spot in between Concannon and left and Govern at short. I've got to see if Herter get a ground ball here, get a quick couple of outs.
So the top of the order with 1 out in a tie ball game in the top of the 5th. Conditions getting better by the inning here in Yarmouth, Massachusetts, playing baseball in day 2 of the summer. Herter's first offering to the leadoff man is a strike connecting on the outside corner. He gets ahead of Wilhite, who's 0 for 2 today. Struck out to begin the ball game back in the 1st. Then he lined out to Cotton and right in the 3rd. Good leadoff of first for Snyder. Herter looking right at him. Comes home and it's a pitch out. Freesia making the catch in the opposing batter's box, but no throw down. Just testing the waters with Snyder. And with good reason. Swiped 24 bags this past season with the Cardinals. He's got some speed and a good lead. Check over at first. Snyder back in standing. One out, 1 on in the 5th. 1-1 score between YD and Chatham. And a 1-1 pitch upcoming to Wilhite. Here it comes. Challenges him with a fastball, and he takes it foul into the right side. Ball and 2 strikes now on the second baseman for Chatham. Another teammate matchup here, both pitcher and hitter playing their ball at Georgia Tech, so some familiarity between the two as Herter checks over once again. Back in standing is Snyder. Herter's had Wilhite's number so far this afternoon. A strikeout and a flyout. See what happens here on the 1-2 pitch. A quick throw over. Robinson having to leap over Snyder, returning to the bag just to keep that one in play. That could have spelled a whole lot of trouble if Robinson isn't quick on his feet. Herder looking right at first, and another toss over, paying a ton of attention to the runner Snyder, just singling a couple of minutes ago. Dunking it into left center field in between Concannon and Govern, the fourth hit. Charge to Brant Herder. Lefty winds, fires another pitch out. Fastball caught by Freesia. And just a glance at first. It's the second time it's happened at this at-bat, but no throw over.
Well, Herder doing everything he can to keep the runner Snyder in non-scoring position, or at least non-prime scoring position. Of course, ball goes into a gap or goes down the line off the bat of Wilhite. Talking about a 2-1 Anglers lead.
2-2 fought off once again. The count will stay the same. Dangerous hitter on deck in Spencer Torkelson. ASU product has walked both times. The most recent free pass given up on 4 pitches. He stands on deck, but a 2-2 pitch upcoming to Austin Wilhite. Here it comes. Curveball right on the outside corner. Perfectly placed. Strike 3. The 6th K of the afternoon for Herder. Makes Wilhite look foolish, and there's 2 down.
That was a beauty there from Brant Herder, setting him up with fastballs inside, pitch out, getting the batter a little distracted, paying more attention to the runner, and drops a hook on the outside corner for a crucial second out.
They always talk about how that can distract a pitcher, but maybe also a little tiring as well for the hitter. If you're not seeing as many pitches when you're standing there in the box. All right, here's Torkelson. Same curveball drops in for a strike to begin the at-bat. Mentioned the 2 walks. Good eye for Torkelson so far this afternoon. Working against Herder for the 3rd time. Still Snyder taking that hefty lead off of first base. With 2 down in the 5th. 0-1 pitch, fastball, good few inches off the plate, evens the count up at 1-1. Quintana playing on the lip of the grass, the outfield grass that is, over on the hot corner, as well as Govern in short. Taylor Young, the second baseman, playing almost right behind the second base back. 1-1 pitch to Torkelson off speed, just a little bit out and away. So another favorable count here for the 2-hitter for the Anglers.
Well, Herder couldn't believe he got that call. Paused on the mound for a little bit after he caught the ball back from Freesia. See if we can try that again.
Toss over, Snyder back in. Threat to steal, and we'll have to see if the Anglers will send him at some point. It'll be the decision of Tom Holliday, manager for Chatham in his first season at the helm of the A's, replacing longtime manager John Schiffner after 25 years at Veterans Field. 2-1 to Torkelson. Stays a bit too high. Count moves to 3 balls and a strike. Pitch number 90 upcoming for the outing for the big lefty for YD, and it has to wait. Another throw over. Snyder hasn't had to slide yet. He's kept those pants and the blue Chatham visiting jersey relatively clean so far. That may not stay the same, though, if he elects to try and take second base at some point. Here's the 3-1 from Herder. Curveball fought off. Torkelson getting a piece of it, and the count is pushed full. A big pitch upcoming here. You have to expect now eclipsing the 90-pitch mark. This might be the last inning of work for the YD starting. We'll have to see what Scott Pickler wants to do. But more work to be done here against a dangerous hitter in Torkelson. 2 down, runner off of first. Tie ball game. Another check over. This one almost gets away again from Robinson. Though to Herder's credit, Snyder looked like he was a little bit delayed on that one. So a bit of a better move from Herder. Trying to camouflage that toss over. Count still 3 balls and 2 strikes on the batter, Torkelson.
Well, if you're Herder, I think it's better to miss than leave one right over the middle of the plate. As we talked about, prodigious power off the bat of Torkelson.
Payoff pitch. He drives this one out into deep center field. Ashford going back at the warning track, and he's got it. Herter playing with fire and a dangerous hitter. He gets out of the jam, though. We go to the home half of the fifth. 1-1 the score. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Four innings of work, and the freshman out of University of Southern California, Kyle Hurt, his night is done for the Anglers. Now on the mound for Chatham, Jeff Bells from sophomores from St. John, 16 games this season, 9 games started, 66 2/3 innings pitched, 2.84 ERA, 79 strikeouts across 40 walks, a 174 batting average allowed. He will face 7, 8, and 9 in the Red Sox lineup, led off by the third baseman Nick Quintana. He walked his first time up back in the second inning. That was against the starter Hurt. There's some confusion this morning, last night, about who would start this game, whether it be Hurt or Belge. It turned out Belge will be pitching first one out of the bullpen. His first pitch is across on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Donna, as I mentioned, a great season at Arizona this past spring. .313 batting average, 14 home runs, 17 doubles. Left-hander Belge will step off and has to talk to his catcher, Taylor.
And Belge, a guy that YD saw twice last year. His first start against the Red Sox, he got beamed up a little bit, took the L in a 7-2 final. But that second time down at Veterans Field, just pitched a gem. 6th inning of shutout ball, struck out 5. So now a guy that Quintana has seen, but also Belge, well, he saw him twice last year as well.
Belge out of the windup. The next pitch is high for ball 1, 1-1 the count. He's a very highly rated player via perfect game coming out of high school. Number 36 overall in the country and number 6 left-handed pitcher in the country in 2016. As that next pitch will miss inside again for ball 2, 2-1 the count. Number 2 overall player in New York and the number 1 left-handed pitcher in New York. Native of Syracuse, New York. Wind in the next pitch. That'll catch the inside corner and even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Much better at bat for Quintana that last go-around, working the walk back in the second. It's something that you like to see, especially after the day he had yesterday.
Wind in the 2-2. Swung on a miss for strike 3. Quintana down swinging on the fastball, and there's one down.
Just not quick enough off the shoulder. Belge challenging him with that high heat, and for a power hitter like that for Quintana, that's tough to lay off, and he just couldn't get the bat speed up.
The strikeouts were a problem for Quintana last season with YD as well. He struck out 50 times, which led the Red Sox. It's Taylor and Belge back out on the mound, going over signs again. Remember, most of these guys haven't gotten the chance to work with each other. So got to make sure they're on the right page. Still trying to win these ball games. So here in steps Luke Robinson, catcher by trade. But YD manager Scott Pickler has him playing first base here today. His first start of the 2018 regular season, as that one is fouled up and out of play on the third base side.
Done a pretty good job at first so far. A couple of routine plays, but he had some trouble there with Snyder in the last half inning, having to catch a couple of really difficult pickoff attempts from Herter, but he did fine.
Him and Brant Herter, that one is swung on a miss. That looked like a changeup in the dirt from Belge, and the count is quickly no balls and 2 strikes. So Red Sox warming up in the bullpen down the left field line. That would be Sam Kessler out of West Virginia. Assume we will see him in the next half inning. YD takes the field as that one misses high. Check swing. Robinson did not go. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Herter up near over 90 pitches. As he finished 5 innings of 1 run, 4 hit ball. It's an off-speed pitch will just miss outside. Robinson is even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's not really playing Robinson to pull. The right fielder Torkelson shaded a bit over towards the line. Otherwise, we're playing Robinson straight up as it gets, as he'll sky that one in front of the Anglers dugout down the first base line, and it will drop for a foul.
Maybe
count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Maybe on another day, a little bit more sun up in the air. That's an easier read for Jake Taylor to make, but he was very late locating that one. There were guys over at the dugout trying to egg him towards that line and make that catch, but new life for Robinson.
Nothing harder to spot a fly ball in than a gray overcast day. Belge will wind and fire the 2-2. Swung on a miss, strike 3. 2 strikeouts. First 2 batters for Jeff Belge out of the Chatham bullpen. There's 2 down for YD here in the bottom of the 5th. That'll bring up Taylor Young out of Louisiana Tech. Primarily hit leadoff, but here in Scott Pickler's lineup in his first start, he's batting in the 9 hole, mostly known as the second leadoff spot in the lineup behind the actual leadoff spot. Line in the first pitch, over for strike 1 on the inside corner. Finished up his freshman season at Louisiana Tech, 302 batting average. Next pitch will catch the outside corner, and Belge quickly ahead 0-2. Seen him working ahead a lot here. His first half inning of work. As mentioned, 302 batting average, 388 on base percentage. Slugging percentage just a tick under 500. It's a check swing. They check down to first. Young did not go. So we'll get another shot to protect here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chatham and YD all tied up at 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. For Chatham, a run on 4 hits, no errors. YD, a run on 3 hits and no errors. Belge, the lefty, will bring home the 1-2. Fouled straight back by Young, and the count will remain at 1-2.
Nice job of Young to battle here against Belge, a guy that's fanned 2 in a row and got ahead in the count on the 9-man in Young, and he took that ball. It's a tough one to lay off, and then fighting that one off here. Not an easy pitcher to go against, especially cold.
Belge, the wind, and the 1-2. Swung, and that one is popped up into shallow center field. In comes Snyder. He will get there and make the catch. 4 Chatham Anglers converging on that one, but Snyder coming out of that with the ball. We will head to the top of the 6th inning. YD and Chatham all knotted up at 1. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the 6th inning, Whitey and Chatham all knotted up at 1. Brant Herter, after 5 innings, his day is done. Replacing him now, righty out of West Virginia, Sam Kessler. 25 appearances this season, a 4-0 record, 2.86 ERA. 28 and a third innings, allowed 25 hits, struck out 32, and walked just 12. As that first pitch to Colin Simpson, flown out into center field. Ashford underneath it, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Kessler here in the top of the 6th inning.
You talk about a get-me-over fastball. That one was very, very close to leaving the yard, and sometimes it's the ones that you don't really expect to get out of Red Wilson Field that do just that. Luckily enough, though, for Kessler, his first pitch in a YD uniform doesn't turn into that.
Now here is Tristan English, the first baseman. First pitch from Kessler will catch the inside corner, gets away from Freesia. Sky's darkening just a tad here at Red Wilson Field here in Yarmouth, Massachusetts. 6:30 the local time. Sun is usually set till around 8:30. His next pitch swung on and missed by English. Count is 0-2. Wind blowing slightly out to left center field. Definitely not the winds we saw here yesterday. Wind was whipping all around the ballpark. Kessler winds and the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And quickly there's 2 down here in the top of the 6th. Kessler, his first strikeout in a YD uniform here in 2018. Good job to bury, looked like just a low fastball just off the outside corner in the other batter's box. And getting English to swing. Here's the catcher, Jake Taylor. He struck out both times he's been up so far today. Struck out looking in the 2nd and struck out swinging back in the 4th as curveball will catch the inside corner for strike 1, 0-1 the count. Kessler only allowed an on-base percentage of .227. That's total. As the next pitch will get over for a strike. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Only 9 total earned runs allowed this entire 2018 season with the Mountaineers. The next pitch will miss way outside. He'll get past Freesia. He'll ask for a new baseball. The count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Had a decent freshman season at West Virginia as well. 1-2 record, 2.61 ERA. Made a couple of starts, though majority out of the bullpen. 38 innings pitched. 28 hits, struck out 41, walked 19. Taylor will call for time. Got an extra practice swing in. YD defense playing Taylor as straight up as it gets. Middle of the infield wide open as that one is popped up on the infield. In comes Luke Robinson in foul territory, but it will be Freesia, the catcher, and he'll squeeze it for out number 3. A quick 1-2-3 frame for Sam Kessler and the Red Sox. Red Sox coming to bat in the bottom of the 6th inning, all tied up with Chatham at 1. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the sixth inning, Chatham and Whitey all tied up here at Red Wilson Field. Game 2 of the 2018 summer. Whitey taking game 1 by a score of 10-9 against the Bourne Braves last night. Thrilling walk-off win. Matt Dyer, walk-off RBI single. Top of the order due up for the Red Sox as Zach Ashford shows bunt. Will pull it back for ball 1 against Jeff Belge. A quick 1-2-3 frame in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ashford, the leadoff man. 1-0 count. Catch the inside corner from Belge. Count even at 1-1 strike. Jimmy Govern, the shortstop, will follow him on deck. And in the hole, Quinn Cotton due up third in this inning, right fielder. Next pitch from Belge will get in there at the knees, and the count is quickly 1-2 strikes. We've seen Belge so far really going after these YD hitters, really working ahead. A lot of college pitchers struggle with control so much, but it doesn't seem like that's a problem very much for Belge. So that pitch is fouled down the third base line and out of play.
Really attacking these YD hitters like he did back in the 5th, and doesn't really seem to be messing around. A starter by trade, he only comes here in the 5th just because that's how Holiday wants to manage his team.
Next pitch from Belge will miss down and away for ball 2, 2-2 the count to Ashford. Ashford, a 4-for-5 debut yesterday in a YD uniform. So far hitless today, 0-for-2, a ground out in the first and a fly out in the third, as that one again is fouled down the third base line into those bleachers extended past the YD dugout down the third base line. That'll keep the count even at 2-2 strikes. Back in the batter's box is Ashford. Belge will wind and fire home the 2-2. Curveball just misses the inside corner. Belge wanted it, but he couldn't get it. Ashford has worked a full count here, 3-2 strikes.
I don't blame him. That was a really, really nice pitch, and especially on a setup one there.
Here's a 3-2. Down and away, ball 4. Good at-bat there from Ashford, not chasing any of the pitches that Belge had thrown outside of the strike zone. Works a walk on base for the first time here today. That'll bring up the shortstop, Jimmy Govern. He is 0-for-2 so far today. Flew out to center field in the first inning, struck out swinging in the third. Both of those at-bats coming against the righty Kyle Hurt. Now he'll get to face the southpaw Belge for the first time. Belge looks at Ashford at first and will fire home the first pitch. Fastball missed low for ball 1, 1-1. 1-0 the count.
A nice outing for Kyle Hurt. 4 innings, 3 hits, just 1 earned run. 1 free pass given up, the 4 strikeouts. It looks like Anglers have a good one in that righty.
And Belge will throw on over to first. The leg kick. Instead of going home, decides to go over to first, but Ashford is not fooled. He gets back there in time. Gover digging into the batter's box yet again from the right side. Here's the wind in the next pitch. That one is looped into right field. Back goes Torkelson. That one has a lot of carry to it, and it can't get it. Bounces up against the wall. Ashford had to hold up and make sure it didn't get caught. He will scamper into second. Stopping at first is Jimmy Govern, and with no outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Red Sox are threatening.
Right field playing a massive role in these first 2 games at Red Wilson Field. We saw a couple of gaffes from the Braves outfielders yesterday that allowed some YD base runners to get aboard, and now in a critical time here in the bottom of the 6th, a tie ball game. Runs haven't been aplenty. You let another base runner get on, especially with no outs, and a hitter like Cotton coming to the plate. And this is also a game that could get flagged down at any point. You just don't know with the weather, especially what it's been like today.
Yeah, and that ball off the bat of Jimmy Govern didn't look like it was hit all that hard, but it just kept carrying and carrying out to right field. Torkelson almost, there is no warning track here at Red Wilson Field, but right in front of the fence, just can't make the catch. Drops under his glove, goes up against the wall, and like I said, Ashford had to wait, hold up, make sure the ball didn't get caught. As the first pitch to Cotton is low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. But now 2 runners on for YD. And man batting third for them today, Quinn Cotton. Western Athletic Conference Player of the Year at the plate. Jeff Belge on the mound, wind and fire home the 1-0. That will miss inside for ball 2, 2-0 the count. Mentioned such lots of awards and such a great season Quinn had at GCU this past spring. .390 batting average, 19 doubles, 5 home runs, 43 RBIs. So wind the next pitch from Bells. That one is swung on and fouled straight back. The count, 2 balls and a strike. Struck out only 30 times opposed to 22 walks. Spent last summer in the Alaska Baseball League. Matsu Miners hit .331 and 154 at-bats. So we're talking about premier college baseball leagues. Of course, Cape Cod is number 1, but Alaska up there is one of the ones on Cape Cod's tail in terms of talent, along with the Northwoods League, as that one is fouled back again, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Don't think you could get 2 summer leagues, at least in the United States, with a bigger distance between the two. Spending last summer out in Alaska, now you come all the way across the country to one of the most eastern parts on Cape Cod, and that'll log some miles.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cotton. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Bell's working out of the stretch. Ashford reaching on a walk to lead off this inning. Jimmy Govern a long single to follow him. That one will miss in. Next pitch from Bells will miss inside for ball 3, 3-2 the count on Cotton.
And it seems like Belge is, as most pitchers are, operating a lot differently than he is from the windup in the stretch. He doesn't seem to be as efficient. He's not hitting his spots as well, and definitely feeling the pressure of the situation.
And Cotton, as I mentioned, only struck out 30 times this spring at GCU. Tough guy to get the ball past. That one's fouled back over the first base dugout. The count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That's just what the great hitters are going to be able to do. They're going to wait and wait for their pitch. Even if it might be called a strike, they'll just keep fouling it off. And it's what Cotton is doing right now. He's got a chance to really break this one open.
Belge gets his sign. He's set on the rubber. Wind in the 3-2. That one is grounded out to the shortstop. Jones will not go to second, just go on to first for 1, and they get Cotton. Both runners advance a base. Looked like Jones might have bobbled the ball a bit out at short. Didn't look like they could get it there in time. And Whitey has runners on at second and third. With only 1 out.
Well, Scott Pickler actually put in the runners into motion right on the 3-2 pitch. So you had already with good speed in Ashford and Govern trusting that Cotton was maybe going to hit it on the ground. And as a hitter right there, and you see that motion, obviously just try and hit something on the ground. Works just as good as a sac bunt. Now prime opportunity.
Now here is the cleanup hitter, Charlie Concannon. He is responsible for the only YD run so far here today. As he first pitch from Belge, fouled up and out of play along the third base line. 0-1 the count. Came around to score on a wild pitch back in the second inning. As for Chatham, their only run came on a home run from their shortstop, Greg Jones, back in the third. But prime scoring opportunity for YD here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ashford leading off of third. Govern leading off of second. Here's the wind and the 0-1 pitch from Belch. Strike over the middle of the plate, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes.
If you're Concannon right here, you go into this at-bat with one job, and that's just to put the ball in play. Now with an 0-2 count, you got to protect as well.
Bell's looking for the sign from his catcher, Taylor. He gets it. Lefty-on-lefty matchup here. Concannon left side. Here's the 0-2. I'll miss high for a ball. 1-2 the count. So Bell's struggling a little bit with the righties at the top of this lineup. Govern and Cotton finally gets to face another southpaw. Concannon digs into the batter's box. Bell's still getting his sign. He's set. Runners take their leads. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Concannon goes down swinging, and there are 2 down.
That's just something you can't do in that sort of position. Do anything you can to put the ball into play, give your runners a chance, especially with the speed we just saw in that previous fielder's choice. Kincannon only had to just put it somewhere onto the grass, but give Belge credit. That was a really nice fastball. Had a little bite there at the end.
Looks like
in the hands on Kincannon.
Having a meeting on the mound. Just making sure that Chatham is. Pitching coach Dennis Cook discussing strategy here. 2 outs. Red Sox with runners on at second and third. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
These are just opportunities in a game like this where runs are really, really hard to come by. You can't squander them. You get 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 out. You think you're a shoo-in at least to score 1 run. In the late stages of this ball game, as we get to the bullpens as well, it's important to get runs when you can. In a divisional matchup like this, and now you've got a hitter in Freesia that's struck out and given up a sac bunt, so you're not sure what he can give you. He's going to have to come up huge here in the 6th.
Well, now would be a good time as any for his first Red Sox RBI. Freesia steps in the batter's box, 0 for 1 so far today, as Dana mentioned, a sac bunt and a strikeout. Belge winds and fires out of the stretch. Strike on the first pitch, and the count is 0-1. Govern on at second base. Ashford leading off of third through 2 down here, bottom of the 6th inning. Belge winds and fires home the next one. That will miss high and inside, even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. If you're Belge, just got to try and hit the ball on the ground, hit a line drive, just try and find a gap, get these runs home, and break this tie we've been locked in since the top of the 3rd. Here's the 1-1 from Belge. That'll miss inside. Gets away from the catcher, Taylor, but the runners will stay put. The count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. Hitter's count here for Freesia. Got to look for something to drive.
That could have been a bang-bang play at home plate, especially with runs not so much aplenty here. I'm kind of surprised that Ashford didn't at least try. It was up the third base line, but he's got good speed. Just didn't want to test it.
Belge is set on the rubber. Here's the 2-1. That'll miss high for ball 3. 3-1 the count. And if you're Freesia, you could not have asked for a better count to be in against a pitcher the quality of Jeff Belge. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs here, bottom of the 6th inning. Chatham and YD all tied up at 1. The wind and the 3-1. Outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Cale Eschmoff. Good at bat there from Vito Freesia.
And now it all gets on the shoulders of Emshoff, and you have to think about, especially with the control that Belge just showed right there in that previous plate appearance, you don't want to swing at anything unless it's looking really good, because he just walked a hitter in Freesia that hadn't really shown us much and had fanned pretty dumbly the previous at-bat. So you want to make sure you're swinging at something good here.
Well, Emshoff, this would be the ultimate opportunity to cash in. Bases loaded, 2 outs. First pitch from Belge will miss outside. It struck out both Emshoff, struck out both times. Once back in the 2nd inning, once back in the 4th inning. So far today, wind in the 1-0 from Belge. Miss outside again. 2 balls and no strikes. Dana, you mentioned Scott Pickler's got to have, you'd think he'd have the take sign on now.
I think for sure, at least for until this at-bat evens up at some point, if it does. I don't think that Emshoff's taking that bat off his shoulders unless it's really good.
Here's a wind in the 2-0. High ball 3, 3-0 the count. Jeff Belge cannot find the strike zone. Once the runners have got on, as you mentioned, Dana, he is just really struggling to find that strike zone. Emshoff digs in, 3-0 count, bases loaded. 2 outs here, bottom of the 6th inning. Here's the 3-0. That'll catch the outside corner. And count will be 3 balls and 1 strike.
I think at some point you have to even think about maybe sitting dead red on this as well.
It's the wind in the 3-1. Fouled straight back, and now full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Emshoff. If he were to reach, Nick Quintana, the 3rd baseman, will be on deck. Wind now blowing out to right center field. The runners go. Here's the 3-2. Fouled straight back again. The count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. A's and Red Sox all tied up at 1. Kel Emshoff looking to cash in with the bases loaded. Ashford leading off of third. Govern leading off of second. And Freesia leading off of first. Here's the 3-2. Catches the inside corner. Strike 3. Belge paints that inside corner. No argument from Emshoff. He has now struck out 3 times this evening, and the Red Sox leave the bases loaded. We will head to the top of the 7th inning. Red Sox and Anglers all tied up at 1. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back for the top of the 7th inning. YD and Chatham all knotted up at 1 here on a overcast night in Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Sam Kessler still out there for his 2nd inning of work. Came in relief of Brant Herder back in the 6th. Out here starting the 7th. Stepping into the batter's box will be the designated hitter Kyle McCann. Georgia Tech product. He will ground that first one out to Young at second. We'll fire on over to Robinson at first in time. A quick out number 1 on 1 pitch, just like back in the 6th inning. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Gregory Jones, responsible for the only Chatham run here today. He will turn around and bat from the left side. A switch hitter. Kessler will wind and fire home the first pitch. Miss low for a ball. 1-0 the count. Cotton not playing any deeper in right field, despite that home run that Jones hit earlier in the game. That one back in the 3rd inning. That cat miss in the inside corner. Next pitch from Kessler. 2 balls and no strikes. Out of the windup, Kessler fire home the 2-0. Check swing. Jones did not go. Count will now move to 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, it looked like it even caught a good amount of the plate as well. I thought that could have been a called strike too.
Here's a 3-0 from Kessler. And that will catch the outside corner. Work back into the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. As Kessler should have taken note of. Got to watch out. Don't let Greg Jones elevate. And that one, next pitch will miss outside, ball 4. So Jones will reach base for the 2nd time here this evening. And that'll bring up Ben Ramirez.
When you go back to that last inning, 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, then bases loaded with 2 outs, a situation for YD that you really hope at some point they aren't wishing really badly that they'd scored a run on, because you got to think if you're a Chatham player right now, I feel like you have second life right now to still be in this tie ball game.
Yeah, lucky that you're able to get out of that inning unscathed. The As in will step Ben Ramirez, the third baseman. Singled back in the third inning. Got a stolen base, too, and popped out to Nick Quintana in foul territory. Back in the fifth inning. Wanted the first pitch from Kessler. That'll miss low for a ball, 1-0 the count. Whitey infielders now shaded more up the middle to prevent the stolen base. Jones on first does represent the go-ahead run for Chatham. That next pitch will miss outside for a ball, 2-0 the count. Second straight hitter, Kessler has fallen behind 2-0. Kessler working out of the stretch now. That Jones working off of first base. He will wind and fire home the 2-0. He'll catch the outside corner for a strike. 2-1 the count.
It's a situation where you just got to trust your infielders and, let the ball go into play. You've got one out. Want to try and induce a ground ball, but it's going to do you no good if you're just pitching around the hitters.
Set, and here's the 2-1. There goes a runner from first. The throw down by Freesia, not in time. The ball was on the plate. Strike was called. That'll even up the count at 2-2, but Jones swipes second. And the go-ahead run moves into scoring position. Only one out here in the seventh.
That was a heck of a job by shortstop Jimmy Govern, because that one bounced maybe even at the lip of the grass in front of second base, and a lot of time that could leak into shallow center field, and with the wheels that Jones has just showcased there, he could have easily turned that into third.
Kessler needs to be careful now. Runner in prime scoring position out there in second. Ball to the outfield. Might score. Here's the next pitch. Fouled straight back, and the count will stay at 2-2 strikes. Outfielders now playing somewhat shallow compared to what they were earlier in the game. Try and prevent that run from scoring. Should a single reach the outfield. Kessler trying to get a strikeout or a fly ball right here. As he comes set, working out of the stretch. Peeks back at the runner, Govern right behind him. He'll fire home the 2-2. That one is grounded out to Young at second. He will get it, fire on over to first in time for out number 2. Advancing to third base is Jones. Now just 90 feet away from home plate and scoring the go-ahead run, but now 2 down for the Anglers here in the top of the 7th inning. Center fielder Jake Snyder will stride to the plate. He's singled and popped out to the catcher Vito Freesia. His 2 at-bats today. Kessler peeks at the runner, will fire home the first pitch. Will miss outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Nick Quintana playing even with the bag at third. Keep the runner close. The rest of the infield playing normal depth. Here's the wind in the 1-0. That one is popped out into shallow left field. Over is Kincannon. Out is Govern. Kincannon dives. Did he make that catch? Yes, he did. Charlie Kincannon diving in foul territory for a spectacular out number 3 for the YD Red Sox in the top of the 7th inning. Getting out of that jam right there. Good job by Sam Kessler to get out of that one. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. YD and Chatham all knotted up at 1. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Red Wilson Field, Chatham and Whitey all tied up at 1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Sparse amount of fans here, just finishing up the 7th inning stretch. So the Red Sox look to scratch another run across and keep the Anglers off the board to secure win number 2 of the season. Here's Nick Quintana, the third baseman. A big swing and a miss at the first offering from Jeff Belge out there for his 3rd inning of work, and the count is 0-1. Quintana has walked and struck out in his 2 plate appearances so far today. Lefty Belge will fire home the 0-1. Another swing and miss from Quintana, and the count is 0-2.
Just seems to be a hair delayed on that swing. You mentioned the season he had at Arizona. We know he's got it in him. He's just got to pick up the bat speed a tad.
Makes you wonder how much the wood bat might be affecting him. Here's the 1 in the 0-2. Swung on a miss for strike 3. Another strikeout for Quintana. That's 2 on the afternoon. There's 1 down. Here's the first baseman. We're going to have a pitch hitter. That'll be Matt Dyer, the hero from yesterday, coming in for Luke Robinson. Robinson finishes his night 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Dyer, of course, the hero last night. Walk-off single in the bottom of the 9th inning off the third base bag. One of the better bounces Whitey has seen so far. So the first pitch from Bells will be over for a strike, 0-1. A great way to get the season started with a walk-off win, something for all the guys to celebrate. This next pitch from Bells will miss high for a ball, 1-1 the count. Dyer started his freshman year at Oregon as a catcher, but transferred to Arizona this season, sat out this entire past spring. So he'll sky one out into right field. Torkelson underneath it will squeeze it for out number 1. Out number 2.
Going back to that walk-off last night, sometimes it doesn't take a whole lot. It can go a long way just to get the ball in play, and even a ground ball like that a couple of innings ago when Whitey was threatening would have brought in the go-ahead run. So give Dyer a lot of credit last night, especially in his first game in a uniform. Showed a lot of poise when it mattered.
Now here is Taylor Young. So for 2 so far today. Line out to short and a fly out to center. So line another one out to short. Jones fields it, fires on over to first, just a hair in front of Young for out number 3. Quick 1-2-3 frame for the Chatham Anglers in the bottom of the 2nd inning. We will head to the top half of the 8th inning, all tied up at 1. You are listening to the Whitey Red Sox on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Alec Marsh, the new pitcher for YD. That'll end the night for Sam Kessler. A clean 2 innings out of the bullpen. No hits, no runs, None of them earned, obviously. 1 walk and 1 strikeout. The new pitcher will be Alec Marsh from Arizona State. He pitched 2/3 of an inning last night, recorded a walk and 2 strikeouts. Coach Scott Pickler getting him working so far both games this season. Tall right-hander will wind and fire home the first pitch. That one is lined out to short and caught out there for out number 1. Looks like we have a new shortstop out there. That is Jimmy Govern. No, that will be Waddell now out at shortstop. That'll bring up Spencer Torkelson. Sorry for the confusion there. That'll bring up Torkelson, the NCAA leader in home runs. Just missed having his first Cape League home run his last time up in the 5th inning. First pitch for Marsh will catch the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 the count. It's teammate versus teammate right here. Marsh, one of the starters for ASU. Torkelson usually will bat second or third in the ASU lineup and play first base. Here's the wind in the 1-0. Excuse me, the 0-1. No miss outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. So Luke Waddell now out at shortstop from Georgia Tech. So wind in the next pitch. Swing and a miss for Torkelson. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Marsh features a fastball, a slider, and a curveball. They're giving Torkelson a lot of the left center side of the infield. And a big gap in left center as he'll just excuse me swing at that and foul it off the first base side. And the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You got to think that Marsh has that in the back of his head that, well, what was a pop fly back when Sam Kessler was pitching. He's being pretty careful with him right here.
Here's the wind in the 1-2. That'll miss down and away outside. 2-2 now the count. Now, you would think that Marsh would have a great idea of how to get Torkelson out, but I don't think Marsh even knows either. There is not many holes in Torkelson's swing. So Marsh got to do his best to navigate around his teammate. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Good job by Marsh getting Torkelson to chase out of the zone. That'll be his first strikeout of the evening. And there are 2 down.
Nice little cut movement there at the end of that pitch, dipping out a low and down towards the dirt. Impressive stuff on a teammate versus teammate battle that clearly won by Marsh.
Now here is the left fielder, Colin Simpson. It's the wind of the first pitch for Marsh. Swung on and missed for a strike 1. 0-1 the count. 2 outs. Chatham and YD tied up at 1. Not had a run since the top of the 3rd inning when the Chatham shortstop Greg Jones took one out over the right center field fence. So next pitch will miss outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Scores from around the league. We had a couple of rain delays / games getting postponed. Bourne and Catuit postponed as that one is fouled up and out of play, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hyannis and Falmouth also getting delayed. But Chatham and YD working here in the 7th. Harwich and Wareham in the bottom of the 2nd inning, getting underway at 6:30 as there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Marsh comes in and sets Chatham down in order here in the top of the 8th inning. We will head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Chatham and YD all tied up. You're listening to the YD Red Sox on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Chatham and YD all tied up at 1 entering the bottom of the 8th inning. Couple of defensive replacements for the Anglers. John Rave now out in center field for Jake Snyder, and now at second base, Brandon Fryman, taking the place of Austin Wilhite, who we saw up in this last inning. So first pitch to Zach Ashford, singles it up the middle for a base hit off of Bells, working here in his 4th inning of work. Ashford not waiting around at all for Bells, taking that first pitch right back up the open middle of the infield. And quickly a base runner for YD, looking to scratch across just 1 run. That's all they need. And then 3 more outs in the top of the 9th inning. They can secure win number 2 on this 2018 campaign. Now here's Jimmy Govern, Eastern Illinois. He's 1 for 3 so far today. Flown out to center field, struck out and singled. Mills looks at the runner and fires home the first pitch. It'll catch the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 the count.
Really like that approach from Ashford there to start off this inning, especially against a guy that's done pretty well over the past couple of frames when he gets later into the counts, especially getting punch-outs, like Ashford just jumping right on that first pitch.
Well, Ashford wondering where all those hits were. He had 4 yesterday in his first game of the 2018 summer. As that one next pitch will miss low for a ball, 1-1 the count. Hadn't collected a hit so far in 3 at-bats. He had reached base on a walk back in the 6th inning, but swung at that first pitch of the at-bat from Belge and reaches first. Now 1-1 the count on Govern, batting in the 2-hole. Quinn Cotton waits on deck as Belge will throw on over to first. Ashford back in time. Ashford with above average speed at first base. We'll see if Scott Pickler decides to send him, move him into scoring position. Or he'll rest confidence in his hitters to put one in a gap and let Ashford turn on the wheels and score from first. Bell's set. Here's the 1-1, and there goes Ashford from first, and there's a pickoff, but they can't. And Ashford is out at second. So Bells throws on over to first base. Govern was going on the first move. First baseman English over there able to fire on over down to second, and Greg Jones applied the tag on Ashford, and YD erases the base runner just like that. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike on Jimmy Govern. Back in the windup. Here's the next pitch. That one is fouled straight back by Govern. That'll even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Great stab by the shortstop Jones as well. That throw from English over at first base wasn't really on the money. Took at least 1, could have been 2 bounces into the mid of Jones, but collected it and applied the tag.
2-2 the count on Govern, now with 1 out. Bell's back in the windup with the base runner erased. As Govern will call time, step out, take a practice swing. Bell's shaking off his catcher Taylor. Now will wind and fire home the 2-2. That one is grounded out to Jones at short. Fields it, fires a long throw on over to first in time for out number 2. Here's the 3-hole hitter, Quinn Cotton. So far today, he's grounded out 3 times. Back in the first, grounded out to third, and then grounded out to shortstop in the 3rd and the 6th inning.
So what you're saying is he's due for a home run, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's gone about a game in 7 innings without one. Why not? Wouldn't that be huge? And he'll just line one right back up the middle into center field for a base hit. Cotton checks in with his first hit of the day. After grounding out 3 times, as I mentioned, he decides to put one on a line and hit it into center field. And with 2 outs, YD a base runner at first.
Maybe not a homer, but definitely good contact. Hit very, very hard and makes you wish that Ashford hadn't been, or at least even tried to steal that second base back. He might be over to third by now, but still a base runner here in the 8th, and now a pinch hitter for the Red Sox.
Now Adam Kerner will step in and bat for Charlie Kuncannon. Kerner yesterday hit the first YD Red Sox home run of the season. He hit one out to dead center field. Just got it enough over that center field fence. As another meeting on the mound between the Chatham coaching staff and Jeff Belge. Know how to approach Kerner.
Also gives Cotton a chance to have a conversation with Scott Pickler about maybe trying to swipe second. We've seen the situations where a pick is put on that steal into motion. Now would seem like as good a time as ever. Bottom of the 8th, tie game, 2 outs. You got a good hitter at the plate and good speed at first base. So you'd have to think at some point Cotton is going to try and go. Though he is facing off against a lefty who just made Ashford look pretty foolish on the base paths a few moments ago.
Cotton's going to need to be careful over there at first. He represents the go-ahead run for YD. Kerner in 2018, this past spring at San Diego, 338 average, 2 home runs, 23 RBIs. His first pitch from Belch. He'll catch the outside corner for a strike, 0-1 the count. Cotton, good wheels over there at first, as Dana mentioned, but unsure if Coach Scott Pickler wants to risk sending another base runner against the lefty Belch, who's already shown that he can pick someone off, fool someone with the first move. Here's the wind and the 0-1. Swing and a miss, and it's quickly 0-2. Scott Pickler is going to want Adam Kerner to just hit a line drive maybe over the head of the shortstop, Greg Jones, and let it hit the outfield grass and just go and let Quinn Cotton run. Let's see it and see if the Anglers defense can gun him down from there. Bells will throw on over to first and get Cotton back in time.
And really just in these stages of the game, like we saw last night in the 9th inning, just trying to get it in play and hope for the best, especially it's early on in the season. We've seen defensive errors. Anything can happen if you can just make contact.
Belch comes set, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one is popped up into center field. In comes Snyder. He'll center underneath it and squeeze it for out number 3. YD can't push across any of the base runners they have here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We will head to the 9th. Chatham and YD all tied up at 1. You're listening to the YD Red Sox on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back inside Red Wilson Field for the 9th inning. YD and Chatham all tied up at 1. Alec Marsh still out on the mound for the Red Sox. Quick 1-2-3 inning in the 8th for Marsh as he'll fire in the first pitch. A swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch. And the count's quickly 0-1. On Tristan English, the first baseman. Wind the next pitch. Looks like a slider that cuts away and misses outside for a ball. 1-1 the count on English. Single and a stolen base for English today to go along with a strikeout and a ground out to Brant Herter, the YD starter, back in the second. So foul the second pitch straight back, and the count will now be 1-2 strikes. Quintana hugging the line at third. YD playing no doubles defense. Dyer doing the same thing down the first base line. Just trying to keep the ball in front of them, not allow Chatham to get a runner in scoring position. Next pitch will miss outside for a ball. 2-2 the count.
That's a great 1-2 pitch, though, from Marsh. A lot of velocity, a little bit of cut at the end. just tip your cap that English didn't chase it.
Here's the wind to the 2-2 from Marsh. Curveball just misses inside. Also just misses hitting English. Just right on the chalk on that right-handed batter's box. The count now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, you know the last thing Marsh wants to do right here is walk the leadoff man. But he doesn't. A swing and a miss for strike 3 on the next pitch from Marsh. He has now recorded 3 strikeouts in his outing here this evening. There's 1 down here in the 9th.
And the same pitch that he got Torkelson with back in the 8th inning, his teammate, that tailing away off speed, away from the right-handed hitter. They go fishing for it. They come up empty.
In steps Jake Taylor, the catcher. This pitch will miss outside and low for a ball, 1-0 the count. Taylor so far struck out twice and popped up to Vito Friscia, the YD catcher. Lined in the 1-0. Swing and a miss. There's that slider again, if we call it that. Slider, changeup, slurve-esque pitch. And the count is 1-1. Here's the next one. That'll miss away for ball 2, 2-1 the count.
If you're the Anglers hitters right here, it's the same will be for the Red Sox in a few minutes, just looking for base runners. That's what was the case in the 9th last night for the Braves as well.
Now here's the 2-1. Check swing, and it'll catch the inside corner anyway. Home plate umpire Tom Rydberg calling that a strike. The count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes, as well as we saw with Marsh. And that first batter not wanting to walk, the leadoff batter not wanting to walk any of these batters. As I said, for every base runner for Chatham will be important, as the next one will catch the outside corner for strike 3. And quickly 2 down. Strikeout number 4 on the evening for Alec Marsh.
And he shows that he can do it off speed, also paint a little fastball as well. And you'd have to think that Taylor was probably sitting and expecting Marsh to take a little something off that put-out pitch. He goes with the heat, gets him looking.
Last hope for Chatham here in the 9th will be the designated hitter Kyle McCann. Struck out twice and grounded out. Pitch will miss outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Of course, this game all tied up at 1. Next pitch on the way from Marsh. A curveball will catch the inside corner for a strike. For the Anglers, a run on 4 hits, no errors. For the Red Sox, a run on 6 hits, no errors. Due up for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 9th inning. Vito Friscia, the catcher. Cale Emshoff, the designated hitter. And Nick Quintana, the third baseman. Next pitch will miss for a ball, 2-1 the count to McCann. Whitey can get out of this inning right here. Go to the bottom of the 9th looking for their second walk-off win in as many days. Here's the 2-1. That'll miss high and away for ball 3, 3-1 the count.
It seems like obviously Marsh having a little more success with those right-handed hitters. And if you look at it, 4 straight strikeouts going back to the 8th inning. He's been cooking.
Here's the next pitch. Curveball will miss high for ball 4, and with 2 outs, a base runner reaches for Chatham on the walk. That's the first walk for Alec Marsh here in his outing. And that'll give Chatham another opportunity here in the 9th. Here is Greg Jones. Sun finally peeking through the clouds here at Red Wilson Field. Here with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. It has been a gray, foggy, rainy day here in Yarmouth, but sun finally peeking through a little bit as we near sunset. First pitch, curveball from Marsh, swung on and missed by Jones for a strike. 0-1 the count. Can leading off of first. Jones, as I mentioned before, responsible for the only run for Chatham today. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Like a slider that time from Marsh, and quickly 0-2.
A lot of options here for Alec, but I think you just go right back to this same pitch. He's fooled Jones both times here. Of course, he could challenge him upstairs with a heat. He's got some pitches to waste here.
Here's the 0-2 pitch from Marsh. That'll miss low for a ball, 1-2 the count. Outfielders playing very deep. No doubles defense. It's a double Might give McCann a chance to score from first, and that is not what Whitey wants. Here's the 1-2 for Marsh. Swung on and missed and dropped like a foul tip that Freesia just could not hold on to behind home plate. Jones stays alive there. Count still at 1-2 strikes.
Went off speed again, and Jones is battling it. First 2 times he came up well empty. That time just able to get a piece of it. I think if you're Marsh, you just go right back to this same pitch. Keep going with it until he shows you any reason otherwise to not do.
Marsh working out of the stretch. 1-2 strikes, 2 outs here, top of the 9th inning. Here's a 1-2 for Marsh. Check swing. Or check, did he go? And he did not. Almost down and inside.
Oof, oof. That was close.
And 2 balls and 2 strikes now, the count on Jones, yeah.
Sure looked like his wrists might have cracked. The umpire moving over towards second base. He didn't have the best look at it.
Can leads off of first. Deuce is wild now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's a 2-2 for Marsh. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Marsh goes back to the curveball and strikes out Jones for out number 3. Strikeout number 5 on the evening for the Sun Devil, Alec Marsh. Whitey looks to walk it off in the bottom of the 9th inning. We'll head that way. You're listening to the Whitey Red Sox on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. R.J. Frewer now in to pitch for the Anglers in the bottom of the 9th inning. Whitey looking to walk it off for the 2nd consecutive day here in the 2018 season. Vito Freesia, the catcher, will lead it off. He is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd, a walk in the 6th, and that strikeout back in the 4th inning. Still looking for his first hit as a Whitey Red Sox in 2018. Kel Emshoff, the designated hitter, stands on deck. He struck out 3 times today. And Nick Quintana, the third baseman, is in the hole. Here's a wind and the first pitch. Swing and a miss by Freesia. And the count is 0-1. Frewer out of Pittsburgh, 6'1", 205, right-hander. Facing the Whitey backstop in Freesia. Working out of the stretch with no one on. Here's the wind and the 0-1. Swing and a miss, and quickly 0-2. Freesia, as I mentioned, hitless today. Frewer showing off that good fastball. Anglers and Red Sox all tied up at 1 Whitey looking to walk it off yet again here in 2018. Freisha ready in the batter's box. Frewer ready on the mound. Here's the 0-2. Curveball catches the outside corner for strike 3. Freisha strikes out for the second time here today. First time looking. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Kel Emshoff. Guy who has struggled mightily with the strikeout. Looks like we're actually going to have a pitch hitter. That'll be Micah Priest out of Point Loma University. Micah Priest steps in, left-hand hitter. Scott Pickler looking to get the advantage with the righty now on the mound in Frewer. Here's the wind, and the first pitch will miss high and inside for ball 1, 1-0 the count.
Breeze with a difficult day yesterday, going 0 for 3, probably why he didn't get the start. Also, Scott Pickler just want to get as many attempts in as possible, but he's trusting him here in a big spot in the 9th.
One out, Breeze hitting, 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the next pitch. That one is popped up and out of play along the third base line. The count will even at 1 ball and 1 strike. R.J. Frewer, drafted in the 10th round, 196th overall in the 2016 MLB draft by the Houston Astros, but decided to go to play ball at Pittsburgh instead. Now here at Red Wilson Field, pitching for the Chatham Anglers. Here's a wind in the 1-1. Low and outside for a ball. 2-1 the count. Breeze, as I mentioned, out of Point Loma. Left-handed hitter in the batter's box. Slightly open stance. Short, stocky right-hander. Frewer comes set, gets his sign. Here's the 2-1. Way inside. Priest almost jumps out of the way of that one. Just misses his ankles, and the count now 3-1. Very favorable count here for Priest. Wide open right side of the infield. Second baseman Will Height shaded up the middle. Here's the next pitch. That'll miss high and inside for ball 4. Whitey with a base runner here in the 9th, and now the third baseman Nick Quintana about to step in, looking to redeem himself.
It's all you need. Base runners, base runners, base runners, and maybe in a show of confidence, but this Whitey bullpen has completely vacated their normal spot out in foul territory down in left field. They're hanging out in the dugout right now, maybe anticipating another walk-off.
Now here is Quintana. As mentioned, a tough day so far. A walk and 2 strikeouts. He also struck out twice yesterday. His first pitch will miss high and away for a ball. 1-1. 1-0 the count. As mentioned, Quintana has that power that you'd look for here in the 9th inning. Possibly park one beyond the fence and send everyone home. Send YD home happy. Here's the wind and the next pitch from Frewer. That'll miss high for ball 2. 2-0 the count. And I'd say Quintana's sitting dead red right here.
Yeah, and if not, he's sitting on a fastball right down the middle. That's his pitch. That's where he can really make you pay, but we'll have to see if he can get the bat speed up to it.
Quintana, bat sitting on his shoulder, awaiting the 2-0 pitch from Frewer. Down and away for ball 3. 3-0 the count on Quintana. Gotta wonder if Coach Scott Pickler going to give him the green light right here, or leave it up to the man on deck. And Matt Dyer walked us off yesterday. Frewer's set. Here's the 3-0. Over right down Main Street for a strike. 3-1 now the count.
And the mind games now, they go on between batter and pitcher, even elevated as the situation's heightened, especially with a runner on first to deal with.
Quintana brings his bat back, rests it on his shoulder. Frewer peeks back at the runner. There he goes from first. There's the 3-1, but it is down and away for a ball 4. The throw down will not matter at all. Quintana will jog down to first base, and for the second straight night, Matt Dyer at the plate with a chance to win it.
And we saw it last night. All it took was a ground ball chopper that went off of third base over the third baseman's head in Cerratos, and A lot of opportunities here. Pretty good speed for Preece at the middle bag. He should be able to get a pretty sizable lead as well. Quintana doesn't matter. It's all about that guy in scoring position and getting this ball in play.
Now here steps in the tall, lanky right-hand hitter, Matt Dyer. As mentioned, had that walk-off hit yesterday. It's that weak ground ball skipping along the third base line, hit the third base bag, and caromed into left field. The rest was history. It's one of 4 Whitey Red Sox yesterday with 4 hit games. The first pitch from Brewers is over on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 the count. Quintana leading off of first base. Preece leading off of second. RJ Frewer set, looking back at the runner. No one holding him on. And here's the next pitch. Way high and outside for a ball. 1-1 the count.
Serious control issues here for Frewer, especially you can tell he's really feeling this situation. Didn't want to give Quintana anything to hit. And it's a pretty similar instance right here with Dyer, not giving him anything over the plate.
Here's a 1-1 from Brewers. High and inside for a ball. 2-1 the count on Dyer. Now, Taylor out to have a word with his pitcher. Cannot find the strike zone here in the ninth.
And at this point, you just got to hope to trust your infielders because Frewer, although he's got great velocity, he can rear back and get a lot on that fastball. It's not going to matter if he's missing by a good foot or something like that. It's not going to fool these YD hitters.
Should Dyer reach and a run not score, Luke Waddell stands on deck. Came in and replaced Taylor Young at shortstop. Frewer set. Still no one holding on Preece at second as he peeks back to him, and here's the next one. High and away for ball 3. 3-1 the count now on Dyer. Should he get a pitch down the middle right here? Just look to drive that out into gap and leave no doubt. Let Micah Preece come around from second and score. Frewer set, peeks back at the runner again. Here's the 3-1. There go the runners. High and away for ball 4, so Dyer will now take first base. Throw down to third by the catcher Taylor will not matter, and now Luke Waddell a chance to walk it off here in the ninth.
3 straight walks for RJ Frewer, and both times on those final balls. Pretty sure both of the Red Sox would have been safe at their respective bases. Yet Preece getting a really good jump, but it won't matter. And now Luke Waddell's job, very, very simple. Just get it out into the outfield, and you win this ball game.
Infielders now playing in on the cut of the grass inside the base paths. Luke Waddell steps in. Left-handed batter will face the righty Fueres. Here comes the runner from third on a suicide squeeze, but the bunt is foul. Ooh, what a call there from Scott Pickler. Going for the win right there, going for the throat.
Well, we saw him do it just yesterday on opening day, and guess can't even really be that surprised with Pick's decisions at this point. Even in the bottom of the ninth, he's not scared to put on any sort of sign. He trusts these players, even though he's only had them for about a week.
Bases full of Red Sox. Fueres in the stretch comes set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. A curveball will miss the outside corner, and the count evens at 1-1.
Frewer wanted that one. If it didn't catch low, it sure looked like it caught the outside corner of something. I think Waddell might have caught a break there.
Fueres set again. The runners take their leads. Here's the 1-1. Here comes the suicide squeeze again. It's popped to the pitcher, Fueres. He'll throw back to third for a double play. That's where the suicide squeeze comes back to bite you. Waddell pops it right back to Fueres on the mound, and he will throw it on over to third to complete the double play. And will we have extras? I don't think so. The Red Sox are out of the dugout. It looks like they're going to go shake hands with the Anglers, and this will end in a tie.
What a way to end a ball game. And Luke Waddell does pretty much about the only thing that you can't do. The worst case scenario even if you just foul it off, you stay alive, but you put it in play and in the air, and it's a gimme for R.J. Frewer. Give him credit, still not the easiest of plays to make and have the presence of mind to throw back, but this is a tie that really, really should be a victory for the Red Sox.
Well, now is usually when we go over the winning pitchers, winning and losing pitchers, but we have none here today due to the tie. Final score of this one, through 9 innings, YD and Chatham all tie this one here on June 13th. Game number 2 of the 2018 summer. Final lines for both teams. For Chatham, a run on 4 hits, no errors, and, well, no one left on base. For the Red Sox, 1 run on 6 hits and no errors. Both teams, YD, their record now sits at 1-0-1. For Chatham, their record sits at 0-1-1. For Dana Gray, I'm TJ Matheson. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of YD Red Sox Baseball. Be sure to tune in to our broadcast tomorrow from Eldridge Park in Orleans for YD versus Orleans. Again, from Dana Gray and TJ Matheson, we thank you all for listening. YD and Chatham tie this one at Red Wilson Field 1-1. We will see you next time.